And we'd like to welcome you to Lamar's Community School, or Gehlen Catholic Community School District for the game at Lamar's Community Field and Jim Lorenzen Field here tonight in Lamar's. And what a beautiful facility they have there. Just got renovated, so this is the first year that they've been playing here. Even a little bit delayed to start the season from my understanding, but what a beautiful facility. And welcome to the broadcast here tonight with Fuller Digital Solutions. I'm Kyle Jorgensen here along with Simon Fuller. And we're definitely excited to bring you South O'Brien football tonight from Lamar's. And it should be a great matchup tonight with both teams having a good year so far. We got South O'Brien off to the 6-0 start, and we have Lamar's Gehlen Catholic at a 4-2 start with the season. So should be
Kyle, and you look at that, and this is a big game for both teams. South O'Brien trying to continue their perfect season. They're doing well in the RPI rankings. They kind of control their own destiny. And Gehlen Catholic with a 4-2 record, still, looking in the playoff picture, wanting that opportunity, still very much in the hunt and mix, and they know that they want to win this game. And not only that, Kyle, but of course it's the inaugural night on this brand new field and a fantastic facility in a press box that we're very thankful to be sitting in on a cool October football Friday night. But really a must-win for both teams, and I think we're going to have a heck of a battle in front of us.
Definitely thankful to be up here in the press box tonight. We were talking, you don't even have to look at the flags. You can just see, looking down at the fans out there, you can see their hats, scarves, hair blowing around. It's definitely a chilly night, and should bode well for South O'Brien. Being a running team, this should be a great night for South O'Brien running the football.
You would certainly think that it would be advantage, just like you say, simply because they like to keep the ball on the ground and they like to pound that kind of Big Ten style football. And you would think that that's going to bode well. But again, I'm just looking forward to it, Kyle. Last time you and I got to do a broadcast, ironically together, it was South O'Brien, Gehlen Catholic, and volleyball. And we said that rivalry and that common opponent, we said we know it's going to be a great matchup, and it was that night, and I expect nothing less tonight on this football Friday night.
You bet. We had a great volleyball matchup last time between these two schools, and Fuller Digital Solutions did the broadcast of the volleyball game last night, so definitely glad to bring you more South O'Brien action here tonight from Lamar's. Should be a great matchup once again here, and definitely excited to be here. And we'll go ahead and take a quick break here. Simon will come back with the starting lineups, and just want to thank all of our fine sponsors for being able to bring us this broadcast.
Absolutely, Kyle, and as we go to break, I'll let me know who they are. It's Sutherland Implement along with Sweeney's, and as well as Prairie Market and Savings Bank, Gannett Auto Sales and Polina Hardware, the Community Agency, along with Iowa State Bank, Farm Bureau Financial Services, and Primgar and Mercy One, so our 10 sponsors who make this digital broadcast possible. And then, of course, Polina Body Shop is our corporate scoreboard sponsor as well. We'll take a break, as you mentioned, Kyle, hear from some of our fine sponsors, be back with kickoff and starting lineups and kickoff just a few minutes away. Looking forward to it. Back in 60.
Sweeney's Farm and Home Center and the Paulina Building Center are proud to support the South O'Brien Wolverines. They know it takes teamwork to accomplish goals on the playing field as well as in business. They're glad to be a part of the community team by helping make dreams come true. When you need building supplies and hardware, talk with the folks at Sweeney's Farm and Home Center and the Paulina Building Center. And good luck, South O'Brien Wolverines, in accomplishing your goals.
Everything's good. We're good. We're in good shape. I definitely want something that's more background noise canceling. Also coming up at halftime, the Prairie Market in Polina. Wow,
more than you might expect in a smaller community grocery store.
Every aisle is going to have things in it that you're surprised at that you can find at a small grocery store. We have a large produce department, and we work really hard at keeping our produce fresh. We're really proud of our meat department. Don and Ben do a great job. If you want something special, they will do that for you.
And to see all of their wonderful weekly specials, visit PaulinaPrairieMarket.com.
The professional lenders at the Savings Bank of Primgar, Hartley, and Lake Park are ready to tackle all of your loan needs, whether it be commercial, personal, or agricultural.
And it looks like we went ahead and shortened up the pregame a little bit here, and they're going to go ahead and kick off on this cold night. And a nice return there for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. Had a little break there, but South O'Brien able to contain them there. So a nice return back out to about the 36-yard line or so. So cold night here in Lamar's, and looks like they went ahead and skipped a little bit of the pregame to get things going here.
A couple of extra minutes, and that's okay. We're ready for action. We're ready to get this ball game underway, and I know you're excited as spectators out there.
So Lamar's taking the ball here first. They're going to go ahead and fake it, swing it out there. Nice pursuit by South O'Brien. They're going to go ahead and get them. Big loss there on first down. So nice defensive play for the Wolverines coming out of the gates here. Looks like we do have a marker down on the play.
Yeah, I didn't catch what that was on.
Looks like we're going to have a face mask on South O'Brien, so coming out there with a nice play, and then face mask penalty is going to negate that nice play to start off the game.
Yeah, that's going to give them an automatic first, I believe, isn't it, Kyle? Yeah.
Well, I believe in high school they just march off the yardage, though, from the spot of the down, so that might not give them a first down. Of course, it was first down, wasn't it? So it probably will remain first down.
I think you're right. So as we have it now approaching that midfield marker, about the 43, and in good position after a great return.
Very nice field position here to start over here again on first down. They're going to go ahead and QB's going to keep it around the right side. Looks like he's going to go ahead and gain about a couple yards on first down. So we got quarterback Ryan Livermore for the Lamar's Gehlen with the keeper there.
Yeah. Brings up about second and long 7, short 8.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and keep it around the left end again here, so it looks like a little bit of an option attack here. Ooh, South O'Brien sideline getting excited here. Do we have a fumble on the play? Looks like they're calling it no fumble. So a couple more yards there for Livermore around the left end that time. So Lamar's Gehlen Catholic does throw the ball a little bit more than South O'Brien does, and we were talking pregame here. This might be a little bit more difficult night for them to throw the ball, especially heading in this direction right now. They're going right into a stiff wind, so it'll be difficult to throw the ball tonight. So they go ahead and keep the ball again. Livermore up the middle.
Just a string tackle that time.
Nice tackle there, as Simon said.
It's a first down saving tackle.
That was definitely a first down, if not a whole lot more there. So he's going to go ahead and gain about 3 more yards. So it's going to bring up 4th and 3. And on a night like tonight, I'm willing to bet they're probably going to go for it.
Yeah, right at midfield.
It's going to be a difficult punt into that wind.
And it is interesting, though. We've seen Gehlen Catholic, they put it on the ground here every play so far. We haven't seen anything through the air. And
a little bit more of a split out here. QB's going to keep it up the middle again. Oh, that's going to be close. We're right in front of that down marker, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and give him the first down.
Yep.
So
looks like he got a good spot just at the marker, and yep, they did signal him first down.
So 4 plays into the game, Simon, and so far the quarterback Livermore has kept it every play for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic.
Yeah, like you say, running that option offense, and as a defense, you've got to keep. You've got to watch the edge, and keep the quarterback pushing back inside, and let your team kind of swarm on it, and got to dial in on that just a little bit tighter.
Seeing those Gehlen Catholics coming out a little bit tighter splits tonight. They got keeping their formations tight. We got an option here again to the right side, and QB Livermore's going to keep that one again and gain a nice 8-yard gain on first down.
Yeah, he saw that hole, and again, the outside was contained, but there was no one when he was pushed back inside. He's an athlete, so you give him that opportunity to run and give him a hole that big, he's going to chew up some yards, and he got 8 on that run.
Coming out again in a tight formation. Going to fake it up the middle, and he's going to go ahead and pitch it this time. Nice pursuit by South O'Brien. You're going to go ahead and have a nice loss on that play. Oh, if the ball's out, they call it down. So I thought maybe we were going to have a fumble on that play, but referees must have go ahead and stopped that play with 4 momentum stops. So still a nice play for South O'Brien with a couple of yards lost there on that play.
Yeah, it brings it up to about a 3rd and long 5, maybe 6, and that after a big 8-yard first down run, so now they're back in 3rd and mid-range.
So Gehlen Catholic's going to line up again on this play a little bit more spread out, kind of like they did in that 4th down play. They got 2 to the left and 2 to the right.
The defense a little bit.
See if they put it up in the air. Looks like they are going to drop back to pass. Had a guy open, just not able to hang on to it. And, you know, with these cold conditions and the wind blowing like that, that ball gets pretty hard when it's cold out there, and definitely hard to hang on to that ball.
Got to say, between the ball being hard, like you said, and then your fingertips being a little chilly, it's a nasty combo.
And into the wind, so having to, you know, that ball might flutter a little more, not that nice tight spiral that you're normally used to catching. So we got a big, 4th and 5 here?
4th and a long 5, maybe call it 6.
Midway through the first quarter here, just the 8.5 minutes left to go. It's going to drop back to pass again. Livermore. Oh, he's got a guy open again this time, so got a completion there. Completion to Jacob Nemmers, a senior. That's going to give Lamar's Gehlen Catholic a first down.
And that was a good job that time to just stay in there, wait for your man to get open, push the ball downfield in a big down, really.
That's a good 15-yard gain.
They've converted on this drive so far.
15-yard gain there on that last play. We got a little bit of they're calling that a forward pass, it looks like. It was a pretty close play there, but it was, wasn't behind the line of scrimmage, so they're going to call that an incomplete pass.
And I'll tell you what, they're not taking a whole lot of time in between plays. They're looking to the sideline, getting the play called in, and they hustle right up to the line, and they're going. They're keeping sort of a tempo here and wanting to keep South O'Brien guessing.
A little more of the newer type offenses that call the play from the sideline now. You'll see when South O'Brien has the ball, they'll run the play in every time. It's going to go ahead and keep it up the middle.
A little draw play, and didn't fool them.
That's right. He faked it to the running back and just kind of kept it himself, tried to go up the middle, and wasn't a whole lot there on 2nd down, so looks like he's going to call it no gain on that play.
So 3rd and 10 coming from the 30-yard line, 7:43 to go in the opening quarter of play and ticking. Pretty good opening drive by the Jays, Kyle. And again, converted on 2 4th downs, decent field position off the kickoff, and we'll see if the Wolverines can stiffen up. And
so they're going to do that spread formation again. Both times they pass, Simon, it's been right at the middle tonight, which probably the most direct route to throw a ball, and it's going to go another one up the middle. Ooh, that's a heck of a catch.
Wow, that was an impressive catch.
They're calling that a catch, but it does look like he's going to be a little bit short of the first down.
Yeah, short of the first down, but like you said, to hold on to it. He took a hit there, but he's given his team a chance with the 4th and short.
So we got about 4th and 1 from the 21-yard line there, and coming out quickly here, tight formation. Feels like a big play here in the first quarter. Going to go and hand it off right up the middle, and nice surge from the line there. It looks like it's going to go ahead and pick up the first down. Still going yet, haven't called it dead. Now they call it dead. So
just credit the O-line on that one, Kyle. I tell you what, at first glance, South O'Brien, they bowed up that line, and then it's like that second wind. They just trudged forward and pushed, and they had will in them that time. Their 3rd, 4th down conversion on this drive, and they just did. They dug deep and pushed forward and got a few yards out of that play. Great possession so far.
I believe that was Nemmers on the carry there for the Gehlen Catholic Jays. Going to go ahead and fake it and pitch it out to the right end. Nice
Great
pursuit
defense.
There. Looks like they're going to go ahead and lose
Micah
about 4
Davis
yards.
that time on the tackle, and that was a great pursuit that time. They're starting to kind of smell out that option, and you wonder at some point Gehlen will make some play off of that, and maybe play action pass. But right now, it had been working up until that point. Mike and Davis said, "No more. We're gonna close that edge down for you."
Gehlen might keep them honest here, with that option. If they start stringing it outside, then they'll go back up the middle again. We'll see what they do here. Looks like they're going to hand it up the middle. He's going to break it out in the left hand. Oh, he's got a nice hole there. Well, he had a nice hole, but nice pursuit from South of Bryan there. I thought that one was going to go for a touchdown there for just a minute.
That was a touchdown saving tackle, no doubt about it. But to tell you what, he had a hole and a nice cut.
I believe we had Tristan Wilson on the tackle there, the cornerback coming up making the tackle for South of Bryan. So Wilson definitely knows how to hit the holes on the other side of the line. So nice pursuit and tackle for Wilson there.
And another 3rd and long situation for the Jays. Let's see what they'll dial up on this play.
Looks like they're going to go ahead and fake the handoff up the middle and throw it out to the right end. It's got a little bit of an edge there. We'll see where they mark him at here. Looks like he's going to be pretty close to a first down.
Just a simple pass in the flat that time and let your athletes make a move.
Nice play call by the coach here on this windy, cold night. You don't want to take a chance down the field, so you fake it off at the middle and just a little, like Simon said, a flat out the pass. Looks like they're going to call it first and goal here. We're going to have a timeout for a measurement.
Yeah. Right now it looked a little bit short, about 4th down, but we'll get an official measurement. And
going to guess if it's short here, we'll see another run at the middle coming up after they had a successful try last time. So
about 6 inches short.
So 6 inches short leaves the playbook pretty wide open here. He can fake it up the middle, he can go around the end, but
the 4th down conversion attempt for the Jays on this drive alone.
Nice drive here coming out on senior night for the Lamar's Gehlen Catholic.
On a brand new field, by the way. Isn't that field look sharp?
What a beautiful field here.
Top notch.
So nobody behind the quarterback here. So I wonder if you're going to have a QB sneak coming up here. Oh, we got a flag here, Simon. So I'm thinking took off just a tad too early before the snap. So probably a false start coming up here. Kind of a big play here in this situation.
Really was. Like you said, he just got a little itchy. He was digging his legs in, knew he had to push forward and get that extra oomph, and it just cost him 5 yards. So
4th down and 5 and 6 inches. Well, this drive's really eating up a lot of clock here in the first drive of the game, and Gehlen's kept it on the ground quite a bit, but we're coming down on 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter, so this might be a night of a few possessions if this is how the game's going to go, and when you get the ball, you better take advantage and put it in the end zone.
And we've got a timeout on the Jays.
So we do have a timeout here with a big play coming up, and we'll go ahead and take a quick break here and thank our fine sponsors. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The Prairie Market in Polina. Wow, more than you might expect in a smaller community grocery store.
Every aisle is going to have things in it that you're surprised at that you can find at a small grocery store. We have a large produce department, and we work really hard at keeping our produce fresh. We're really proud of our meat department. Don and Ben do a great job. If you want something special, they will do that for you.
And to see all of their wonderful weekly specials, visit PaulinaPrairieMarket.com.
The professional lenders at the Savings Bank of Primgar, Hartley, and Lake Park are ready to tackle all of your loan needs, whether it be commercial, personal, or agricultural. So often we are concerned with rates, and yes, their rates are competitive, but more importantly is their service. You can feel comfortable sitting down, talking with one of their loan officers, and feeling confident that you are getting exactly what you wanted and more. The Savings Bank of Primgar, Hartley, and Lake Park, your bankers and your friends. Proud supporters of their communities. Member FDIC.
So we just missed the play there as we just got done with the commercial.
The Prairie
Market open, but tough throw across the way. Crossing into that crosswind, trying to throw it across his body, and just a tough throw there. So big play for South of Bryan, getting the stop there on 4th down. So we're going to go ahead and turn the ball over to South of Bryan in their first possession tonight. So Gehlen comes out and drives it down the field and just not able to convert there on 4th and 5 after that false start. So South of Bryan's going to take over here with 4:29 left in the first quarter. Yeah,
and a big play that time, and honestly, a couple times you thought Gehlen might punt it. But, that serves just as good.
Looks like we got a
possible turnover.
Possible turnover here. We'll see what the official's going to call here. He came in and kind of gave the motion first that was down, but
so a good initial run by the Wolverines.
South O'Brien,
they recover.
South O'Brien keeps the ball there. So, a little bit of a cold night, like we had mentioned to earlier. That ball might be tough to hang on to tonight. So this game could come down to a big turnover, and both teams looking out so far tonight with not turning the ball over.
Right, we've seen it come out a couple times, Kyle, and you're right. It's not going to be easy to handle. Ball control, security is going to be important in a matchup like this.
Oh, there goes Wilson. Looks like he's going to take it all the way to the house. Wilson, once he gets through that crease there, there's just no one that's going to catch him.
Right.
Almost got caught right at the end there, but Wilson gets through that line, Simon, and he's got a good burst of speed. And so
we'll take a look at that replay here real quick, but what a big run.
82-yard touchdown run by Wilson. So Lamar's Gehlen Catholic comes out and holds on to the ball for a good portion of the first quarter, and South O'Brien has 2 plays and a touchdown. So nice response here from South O'Brien on this cold night. And they're going to go ahead and try the extra point here.
And
looks like I had Riley Davis on the extra point, and he's going to go ahead and knock that through.
It was a low kick, but just good enough to get through. So just like that, 7-0 Wolverines over the Jays with 4:05 to go in the first quarter of play. After that big run, we'll be back in 60 seconds.
The Prairie Market in Polina. Wow, more than you might expect in a smaller community grocery store.
Every aisle is going to have things in it that you're surprised at that you can find at a small grocery store. We have a large produce department, and we work really hard at keeping our produce fresh. We're really proud of our meat department. Don and Ben do a great job. If you want something special, they will do that for you.
And to see all of their wonderful weekly specials, visit PaulinaPrairieMarket.com.
The professional lenders at the Savings Bank of Primgar, Hartley, and Lake Park are ready to tackle all of your loan needs, whether it be commercial, personal, or agricultural. So often we are concerned with rates, and yes, their rates are competitive, but more importantly is their service. You can feel comfortable sitting down, talking with one of their loan officers, and feeling confident that you are getting exactly what you wanted and more. The Savings Bank of Primgar, Hartley, and Lake Park, your bankers and your friends. Proud supporters of their communities, member FDIC.
And we're back, and we just had the kickoff here, so they're not taking any extra time tonight with the cold weather. They're getting right back to it tonight. So kickoff for South O'Brien after that nice 82-yard touchdown run for Tristan Wilson. He came into the night with 1,280 yards on the season rushing, according to Iowa Quick Stats, and averaging a little over 200 yards a game. So he's definitely a workhorse for South O'Brien, and coming out gunning tonight with a 82-yard run, and that was a big fumble recovery on first down there for the next play to happen like it did there. So
Lamar's Gehlen mentioned the floor or the ground game big for South O'Brien, and that just showed you in that last play that is their bread and butter.
Gehlen here with the second possession of the night. Going to go ahead and run the option out to the left-hand side. Got a flag down here on this play, so we'll see what they call here. The option to play again once for Gehlen off to the left side, and South O'Brien nice pursuit on that play. So looks like it's going to be against Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. They're talking to the captain for South O'Brien.
Yeah, holding was the call. I could see the official signaling.
Looks like Thomas Nelson was the South O'Brien player that they were talking to. So yeah, we have a holding call here. So we're going to go ahead and back Gehlen Catholic up 10 yards.
So we'll replay that, but 1st and 20 this time.
So a tough way to come out and start this second drive of the night for them with the holding penalty to start off the drive. No one wants to get backed up on first down, but especially back in your own territory, so it's going to knock the ball back to the 16-yard line. Looks like they're going to go, thought they're going to pass, but they're going to do a draw play to Livermore. Hit a nice little alley there off to the left-hand side, so he's going to go ahead and get a nice chunk of that yardage back.
And he did have a nice first move. I mean, he sold it. He had the linebacking core bought in, but a nice recovery that time, and and a tackle, but not before he got almost most of his penalty yardage back, bringing up a second, and I guess I want to say slightly more manageable. He got about 7 of those yards back.
Yeah, 7 yards there on that carry, so bringing up a 2nd and 13. Back to pass this time, and it is a true pass play. South O'Brien getting some pursuit now after he had some time back there. Hanging on to the ball, he's going to try to run around the right end there and just pick up a yard or two if he can.
Yeah,
looks like he did pick up a couple of yards on that play.
Out to almost the 30-yard line.
So a nice play there by QB Livermore just to make something out of that play. He avoided the sack in the backfield and able to get a couple yards to bring up 3rd and 11. Or 3rd and 8, excuse me.
Yeah, long 8.
Going to go ahead and hand it off over there to Nimmers. He's going to go take it on the left-hand side, and South O'Brien with nice pursuit there. So your 3rd and 8 coming out thinking maybe a run play will catch South O'Brien a little off guard, but South O'Brien ready for that one. Nimmers picks up 3 yards. About the 33-yard line for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic here. And
they appear to be going for it again. Oh, no, they do have the punter out there.
Looks like Nimmers also is their punter. So he's back deep for him. It'll be a tough night to punt here. We'll see what kind of punt they can get off here. South O'Brien doesn't even have anybody back deep, so a little bit of a rugby-style punt here. Nice bounce for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. Boy, on a windy night like tonight, I don't think you can ask for much better of a punt than that right now.
No, exactly, Kyle. I mean, you look at that, and you knew you were going into a stiff breeze. You wanted to keep it low, and he did get the Jays bounce. So South O'Brien will take it 1st and 10 from their own 32, and
like I said, you notice they didn't put anybody back on that one, but when he rolled out to the right there,
you almost know that he's an athlete. You want to respect him in every play.
That's right.
That's exactly right. You almost wondered if he thought about it and thought against it because they weren't buying it.
South O'Brien coming out in their traditional I formation there, and they handed off to Wilson. He had a guy in the backfield that he broke through a tackle on, so nice job by Wilson just to make something out of that play.
Right, a would-be loss turned into about a 2-yard gain that time, Kyle, and that's just the kind of runner. I mean, when you look at the stats that he has, I mean, there's a reason he has those stats, Kyle. He keeps those wheels turning, and, I don't know if they keep stats in terms of yards after contact, but I've got to believe he's up there.
Yeah, he's definitely shifty, and you're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. No. You gotta really wrap him up to get him down, and if he gets a little space like we saw last time, he can take it to the house. So nice job by Lamar's Gehlen Catholic on that play. Looks like Wilson's not going to have any game there on 2nd down, so that's going to bring up 3rd and long for South O'Brien. Coming under just a minute left here on the first quarter.
Like you said, this first quarter just seems to have flown by. That first drive, Gehlen Catholic brought it down almost to the 4-minute mark.
I'm sure the fans out here don't mind this game going by a little quicker with how cold it is out there, well, especially the South O'Brien fans with the mouth of the lead here. Going to go ahead and hand off to Wilson here again on 3rd and long, and nothing there, so...
Yeah, the Jays just that time clogged up the hole and said, you're not going to run up the gut on us. Both teams doing a decent job on their second defensive round, second offensive possessions. The defense has made some adjustments to...
I was going to say here, Simon, I almost wondered if South O'Brien would want to take a timeout to punt this ball with the wind behind them, and they are going to do that. So that's a pretty good call by the coach, I think.
I would agree with you exactly, Kyle. There's no doubt about it. So we'll take one with them, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Deals at Gennade Auto Sales in Polina, including a very nice blue 2010 Chevy Silverado LT 1500 4x4 with many extras and only 110,000 miles. Also a silver 2014 Chevy Equinox LTZ with only 64,500 miles, and it's loaded. Leather, heated seats, nav, rear camera, sunroof, and all-wheel drive, specially priced $16,395. Check out these vehicles at GennadeAutoSales.com, and remember, if you want it and they don't have it, they will find it at Gennade Auto Sales in Polina.
Everything you expect from your local Paulina hardware store, but now offering more. Shopping online is convenient because you can do it on your time and the inventory is seemingly endless. Welcome to TrueValue.com. Simply pick your store and your items will ship free right to our door at Paulina Hardware. Plus, we handle the returns, assembly, and simply stated, there's a local person who will take care of you. We love to see you in our store and love that we can bring you the convenience of shopping 24/7 at Paulina Hardware. Online at TrueValue.com.
So we're back here, and then they kind of shortened that timeout again here, so we apologize for that, but wanted to get through our ads from our fine sponsors, and South O'Brien had a nice punt there, all the way down to about the, the 16-yard line. So Riedemann on the punt there with South O'Brien had a nice spiral and took a nice bounce. Gehlen came up in the field with a punt and had a little bit of a bobble there, but sometimes that throws off the punt team that's coming down there to tackle them. So a little bit of a return there for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic, but South O'Brien did a nice job covering up that.
Yeah, now we'll switch fields because, like you said, it's end of quarter number 1, and as you mentioned, Kyle, they took that time off, so they had the wind at them and that wind behind them, and that was a smart move. It was a nice punt, and like you said, took a big hop, and for a minute there, the Jays didn't think, they thought maybe they wouldn't field it, let it roll into the end zone. They saw it kind of die in, picked it up, and went sideline to sideline before he had some good swarming defense by the Wolverines, good kick return coverage, and swallowed them up. So they've got him pinned back deep on this particular possession. But it's a game of chess. It's a game of strategy in addition to execution and discipline, Kyle. And that was a good move. And we'll see if how the South O'Brien defense can do on this series. First series, I'll tell you what, the Jays, they had it figured out. They had a great game plan. Couldn't quite punch it in. And second go around, South O'Brien had them pretty well dialed in, and we'll see how the teams adjust and what they do, and that's kind of the fun of this sport, Kyle. There's a lot of thought that goes into everything.
There is, Simon, and I kind of wonder here, looks like they're going to have a reverse play here, handed off to the left and going back to the right, but very nice pursuit by South O'Brien, staying home.
Yeah, who was that making that tackle? I couldn't
trying to catch the number there. Looks like we had Matt Riedemann with the tackle, so a nice job by Matt Riedemann staying home there on that play. So Gehlen Catholic coming out here hoping for a big hitter on first down, and they're going to go ahead and lose a few yards.
Yeah, that was a big defensive play, like you say. It looked for a second there. He had one man to beat, and he could have taken a decent chunk of yards, but.
So I kind of wonder, with the wind to the back here, if they would come out passing a little bit more on this possession. Oh, a nice play up front by a lineman. Got a flag down, though, so it looks like South O'Brien might have a roughing the passer play.
That's what it does appear to be.
Nice knockdown there. They tried to set up a little bit of a screen play there on that play, but just unfortunate that took the quarterback down after the throw.
And it's easy to do, when you get that momentum going, but you just got to play smart in those situations.
I remember being there back when I was playing football. It's hard because you just want to get that hit on that quarterback. It feels good to hit the quarterback, and you want to let them know that you're there. But like you said, Simon, you gotta use your head and be smart about when you do hit them, and make sure you hit them when it's the right time to do it. So Lamar's Gehlen Catholic coming lined out with a 2 split to the right and to the left. Going to go ahead and drop back with Livermore to pass again. And you notice that time in the backfield, the lineman did stay off the quarterback and had a nice completion out to, I believe that was Nembers.
Yeah, that was just a great play right over the middle. He found the soft spot in the coverage, caught the ball, made a nice move, got it almost out to midfield, and now the Jays have got the chains rolling there. The O is on the move.
Just kind of had a feeling they would come out passing on this possession with the wind behind them, and they're a little bit more of a passing team. They have a nice mix between run and passing, but South O'Brien did a nice job in the first quarter defending the run. Going to go ahead and drop back to pass again. He's got some time back there. Looks like he's going to take off to scramble. Nice pursuit by South O'Brien, but he's going to go ahead and still pick up 4 or 5 yards there on first down. So,
yeah, I was going to say just a nice job that time to survey the field. It wasn't there. He tucked the ball down and took what he could get and still got a nice, you'd be happy with any 5-yard first down play, and not what they drew up, but he's an athlete back there, and you've got to honor his arm and his legs.
Nice job by South O'Brien with the coverage there, and this isn't the first team they played this year. Sheldon threw the ball quite a bit against them, so good experience with him with the pass defense. Going to go ahead and back to pass again. He's got a guy over the middle. It's like Nembers, so Nembers definitely seems to be his favorite target here so far tonight.
And this is all part of that strategy again, Kyle. It's second quarter, wind at their back, and the first quarter we saw the Jays keep it on the ground basically, I'd say 80% of the plays, and now the majority of this drive has been through the air.
And South O'Brien's going to have to stay disciplined back there with their pass rush. If somebody gets off, he can take off and run, but definitely need to get some pressure on him back there. He's got a lot of time to throw. He's going to drop back to pass again. Got a lot of time again. He's got a guy open down the field. Oh, what a nice catch.
That was
had a really big hit down there, but looks like that was Nimmers again. Going to go ahead and pick up about 36 yards on that. That was a heck of a throw. Down to the 2-yard line, so every pass completion so far has been the number 12 Nimmers for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic, so you definitely got a favorite target down there. We'll see if they stick to the pass game or they go back to the run here. It's going to go under center this play. First and goal for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. Going to go ahead and hand it off.
And South O'Brien just stuffed the gut there.
Oh, had a fumble, and South O'Brien got the ball. So what a big play.
Officials say South O'Brien's got it. Wow, that's a big turn of events after a big offensive series for the Jays. Just couldn't punch it in, and that's going to be a moment in this game we're going to look back on.
South O'Brien definitely were on their heels there, Simon. You know, Gehlen Catholic was doing what they wanted through the air, and then they try to hand it off. And
yeah, it was their quarter. I mean, they were waiting for the win. They got their offensive game plan, what they like to do. They got back to doing it, and you can see why. So just a costly turnover there for the Jays and South O'Brien.
So pinned deep in their own territory, you know they're going to hand it off to Wilson, and he's going to go ahead and get the ball off the left-hand side here. Going to go ahead and pick up a couple yards there, it looks like.
Good push after contact. He was hit about a yard beyond the line of scrimmage, fell forward for a couple more. Brings about a 3-yard gain, brings up a 2nd and 7, and they're just trying to, like you say, get out of their own end zone at this moment.
You know, definitely when you're pinned back this deep in the wind against you, you don't want to have to punt from your end zone. So even if they can't score in this drive, just to get a couple of first downs would be huge here. Get that ball, field position's huge on a night like tonight. Going to go ahead and line up in their I formation again and hand it off to Wilson again. Good pursuit by Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. Doesn't look like there's going to be much of a gain on that play.
No, maybe half a yard at best, Kyle, if at all.
So they are
the big boys on the defensive line doing a good job for the Jays here, and brings up a 3rd and 6.
So South O'Brien pretty much keeping the ball going up the middle here. So we'll see if mix it up a little bit, maybe do an outside run, or if they stick with their bread and butter up the middle with Wilson. They are going to split 2 out on this formation. Going to hand it off to Wilson again. So he's not going to be able to get a first down here. So that is a pretty big defensive stop for the Lamar's Gehlen Catholic after that fumble. South O'Brien's going to have to punt this ball away from deep in their territory, which is going to be a difficult punt back from their end zone into a stiff breeze.
Yeah, give them credit that time. After an impressive offensive series, South O'Brien, you know, back and forth we go. They had a big turnover, and the Jays forced a 3-and-out.
Nice catch there. And the kick is off a little bit of a low line drive, and pretty close to a couple of players there, so lucky it didn't bounce off a leg or something. But
it almost looked like it did off the line of scrimmage and bounce off somebody, but that's just he didn't get very good contact on it. Didn't get much height in the air, and just kind of came to a screeching halt inside the 30-yard line down to about the 28. So the Jays are right back in business, but for the moment, the Wolverines have avoided a score which almost seemed inevitable after that last drive.
See if they going to make any adjustments here on defense, because like you said, Lamar's Gehlen Catholic had that ball last time and drove it right down the field and just had the unfortunate fumble and difficult punting into that wind. So prime field position here, and they're going to come out with their typical shotgun formation, split out. And Livermore back to pass for the Jays. He's going to roll out to. He's got a guy open. Oh, just off the fingertips down there. So he had a guy open. Zach Kraft in the right corner of the end zone.
Outside of his hands there. I mean, he had him right in the end zone, right on the sideline there. Just kind of sat into that soft spot. Had defender in front of him and behind him, but there was a sweet spot and just missed him.
Makes you wonder. South O'Brien had a defender kind of flash right in front of him right before the ball got there.
Right,
maybe that just threw off his
vision a bit.
Vision just a little bit. So coming out in the same formation, we got a running back split out to the right, to the left, to the right split out. Going to go ahead and keep it up the middle this time.
There you go.
Nice run there on second down and long. So he's going to go ahead and pick up 8 yards for the quarterback Livermore. Looks like they're giving him about 7 yards there, so down just inside the 20-yard line. So without a doubt, they don't pick this one up. They'll go for it here deep in the territory.
I got him back into third and manageable. But like you say, this is 4-down territory. I mean, they've shown that they're going to do that tonight. So 2 plays to get the first down.
Almost looks like they're in a shotgun wishbone formation with that nice play there by South O'Brien on defense. Not able to get much there, but
yeah, Matt Riedemann that time in to finish that tackle off. There was a few Wolverines in on that, but Riedemann laid the final smack on him, and basically no game brings up a fourth and about 3 or a long 2.
So 4th and 3 coming up here in the second quarter. We're coming down on 6 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the second quarter. Gehlen Catholic with their second possession of this quarter. Coming out with a wide split again. Looks like he's going to drop back to pass, and he's got a guy open. Broke a tackle. What a nice run there. Isaac Ellenson on that reception for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. So he had
another big 4th down conversion for the Jays.
It was a big 4th down. You know, I think he initially had the first down on the catch, but he was able to break that tackle also. Looks like he went ahead and picked up about 18 yards on that reception. So we have 1st and goal for the Mars Gehlen Catholic coming out in the shotgun for a bit of a low snap there.
Now just see if we can botch play. Just tried to get something, make something out of that, Kyle. Like you say, didn't want to have another costly turnover, fumbled, or miscue on the snap. And
that's right. Coming down here, bit of I don't know if it's a surprise or not, coming out with a shotgun formation there, but going to go ahead and lose a couple yards on that play. So we'll see if South O'Brien can come up with another big defensive stands here.
Yeah,
leading 7-0 here in the second quarter. So Gehlen's going to go ahead and come out with their shotgun formation again. A little bit different formation with 2 back split, one to the right and left. Going to run around the end. He's got an opening there, but nice pursuit from South O'Brien over there. Looks like Tristan Wilson coming up with a tackle.
He's all over the field, isn't he?
He is all over the field.
He was flying. It looked like he was for sure going to walk into the corner of the end zone that time, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Tristan Wilson right at the ankles to take him down.
That's the same thoughts I had, Simon. When he first got that ball, I thought that was going to be pay dirt, but looks like he gained about a yard on that play. Coming out shotgun formation again here. Looks like he's looking to the left. He's got a guy coming down on him pretty quick. Just about an interception there for South O'Brien.
Yeah, that was Sean Negus who just about had the pick there. Saved the touchdown, brought it to a 4th and goal situation either way, but almost picked it off, and he would have had some real estate ahead of him if he had caught that ball, maybe taken it all the way if he had the speed.
That's what I was just going to say. It makes you wonder if he was thinking, man, if I catch this ball, I'm going to take it down for a touchdown, and took his eyes off the ball just for a split second.
Yeah.
Plus, he is the fullback on the other side, so they're not known for their hands particularly.
Sure.
They're more of the bruisers that get in there and block. So Jay's got 4th and goal here. Coming out with, what would you call that formation? They got a running back to the right and left of him and one behind him. It's almost like a shotgun wishbone. So we'll go ahead and take a quick timeout here. Also, we'll be right back.
At TCA, they are working hard every day to make sure each home and business in O'Brien County can connect with today's world. Whether you are in town or in the country, they have a variety of internet solutions for you, now with increased speeds. They also offer managed Wi-Fi to ensure your network signal is strong and secure. Call 930-5593, stop in, or visit their website, tcaexpress.com.
Communities working together for a better tomorrow at TCA.
At Iowa State Bank, we know that our ag community is an important part of Northwest Iowa. That's why we work harder to keep business owners and farmers up and running. For over 75 years, Iowa State Bank has helped farmers upgrade equipment, expand local business operations, and sometimes offer a helping hand. As we look forward to the future, we'll continue to be by your side, available when you need us.
Iowa State Bank, we're ready for you.
And welcome back here as a big 4th down and goal play here for the Mars Gehlen Catholic. So a good time out there by the coach. We'll see what they come up with here. We're going to go ahead and drop back to pass again. He's got a guy wide open. So got Nimmers over there for the score for the Mars Gehlen Catholic. So a nice play there for the Mars Gehlen Catholic coming out of the timeout there. Coach drew up a nice play and had a guy wide open in the end zone.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that replay quick.
So that was back to Nimmers, definitely the favorite player for receiving out of the backfield. Extra point is up and no good.
The extra point is no good.
So South O'Brien keeps the lead 7-6 with just about 4:59, just under 5 minutes to go in the first half of play. We'll take a 60-second timeout and be back.
So what do you see in your future? Buying the perfect home with a big oak tree? Watching your child graduate from college? Or finding more time for hobbies during your retirement? Whatever your future holds, make sure you talk with the Farm Bureau Financial Services agent. Together, we'll create a plan that's right for you.
Contact Denise Steffen or Danny Rader in Primgar today.
It's your future. Let's protect it.
Around here, life is a continuous circle. At our best, we have caring people all around us. That's the power of Mercy One, a support network 20,000 strong, including more highly rated specialty services than anyone in the region. Personalizing your care, strengthening your circle, keeping you at the center of everything we do. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
And we're back with the kickoff here. A little bit of a fumble there for South O'Brien. There's an up man tried to catch that ball, and nice recovery back there for the Wolverines.
Yeah, just kind of bumbled it around, fumbled with it. Just couldn't get that hard rock off the ground. And
I believe that was Reed Nelson back there for the Wolverines picking that ball up. So a nice job just corralling that ball and making sure a turnover didn't happen there with Lamar's Gehlen Catholic just coming off that score. The last thing you want to do is turn the ball right back over to him. It does look like we have an injured Gehlen Catholic player down. So Lamar's Gehlen Catholic definitely moving the ball on the Wolverines tonight, Simon. They've had a couple of nice drives. South O'Brien basically has had one big play from Wilson tonight, and Galen's really bottled them up.
Yeah, they have. I was going to say, this is an important drive for the Wolverines. You hit the nail on the head there, Kyle, that at this point in this game, really Lamar's Gehlen has had the offensive edge. They've moved the ball down the field. They've coughed it up once, and they've stalled once, but they have shown that they can move the ball. South O'Brien had that one big play, and they still are up by 1 point, but they have not. The Gehlen Catholic Jays defense has been stout tonight, and this is an important drive for them to adjust to that. I mean, obviously Lamar's Gehlen came in with the game plan. What is South O'Brien going to do? What are the Wolverines going to do to adjust? Because they've got their number, and they have not been able to run the ball up the middle. I feel like they're going to have to create a little more space and get Wilson out, and maybe even throw the ball a couple times. You know, Kyle, it's not their style, but that's at this stage, that's where we're at.
Just to let them know that that option is there. You know, if they could complete a pass or two, and then maybe get in the back of Gehlen Catholic's, you know, their mind.
Kind of soften the defense. Like right now, they're just bottling them up.
So we'll see what South O'Brien comes up out here with. We got 4:51 left to go here in the second quarter, so kind of feels like this is a big drive in the game for South O'Brien. Definitely need to at least get a couple first downs here, eat some of this clock up, get some positive momentum going here at this point in the game. So South O'Brien 1st and 10. Looks like the ball is about in the 18-yard line. Going to go ahead and stick with Wilson.
And again, you look on that line of scrimmage, and there is nobody back. I mean, you've almost got to use the pass to set up that run, because right now Gehlen is just bottling you up, and if you can only get 2 yards a run, 2.5 yards a run, you can't get first downs.
Kind of like you said, they're loading the box. They're putting everybody is up right within the line of scrimmage. They have one safety back just about 8 yards deep, but everyone else is right within the line of scrimmage. Going to go ahead and try a pitch play out to the right-hand side. There he's got some room.
And again, you got him out in space and let him be athletic like he is, and that gave him a positive play at first down, Kyle. And I think you're going to see more of that if they're going to want to be successful.
So Wilson had that 82-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Other than that, his longest run had been 4 yards. So that was a nice gain of 22 yards there. So
yeah,
picking up a first down for South O'Brien at the 42-yard line.
4:15 to go in the opening half of play.
Kind of wondered if we were going to see another pitch play there, and Lamar's Gehlen Catholic was ready for it that time. And South O'Brien, not a team that is is accustomed to coming back from a second and long or a third and long. As we kind of mentioned too, they're not much of a passing team.
Right.
So when you lose yardage like that, kind of gets you behind the chains, and then you got to have a couple of bigger chunk plays here to catch back up and get a first down. Looks like I got Wilson limping off to the sideline here.
Yeah, he got a little bit chewed up in that last play, and I think Kraft got credit for the tackle there and didn't see exactly what happened, but it looks like he's just got maybe twisted an ankle or something, maybe rolled up on that foot, just kind of limping a little bit.
Yeah, he went back into the huddle, and then you saw him kind of coming off late there, so going to go ahead and pitch it out to the right-hand side to see. We had Riley Davis on that carry, so a nice run there for Riley Davis. He has gotten some time this year on a few different games that we have called. Davis comes in and gives Wilson a little bit of a spell here and there, so definitely a capable backup. Looks like he went and picked up almost
about 9 yards.
9 yards on that play, so a nice run by Davis. And South O'Brien finding a little bit of a rhythm there with that pitch
right
play
side,
out to the right side.
They put a little chink in the armor on that right side.
Going to go ahead and run up the middle. He's got a little bit. He had a little bit of a hole, I thought, back up in the middle there, but he decided to cut it out to the right-hand side, so they're only going to pick up a yard there.
Looked like Augustine ran on that tackle, and he just came in a hurry and closed up that hole. So now decision time for South O'Brien with the ball out near the midfield marker, 2:45 and ticking, fourth down, and we'll call it 4, a long 4 to go.
Not much of a hurry here, Simon.
Right,
so it looks like
let the time tick first and then decide what they're going to do here.
I kind of wondered if Coach maybe was going to let the clock run down and call a timeout, but they are running a play in here. The play clock's getting down close to about 5 seconds left. Going to try to draw them off sides, and it looks like it might be a false start on South O'Brien. It looks like that is going to be the call, so a little bit of a late play call getting in there, and then they tried to hustle up there and draw them off sides, but not a whole lot of time left on the play clock to do that, and South O'Brien jumps off with the false start. So,
and I think an obvious punting situation here. You're up by a point, 2:20 to go in the game, and just good discipline by Gehlen on that play, and South O'Brien, like you say, it just didn't seem like that flowed exactly how they wanted. I wonder if they weren't going to punt anyway, just try to get the free 5, otherwise, let the 5-yard penalty go and, a delay game type thing, and then kick the ball. This is one time.
So South O'Brien is going to punt, like you said, Simon. Last time they got about 20 yards on that punt to the wind, so we'll see if they can get a little bit better of a punt off this time. Going to kick a low line drive. That ball's going to spin and go out of bounds there about the 33-yard line. So a little bit better of a punt this time, about 25 yards, but that is difficult to punt into that stiff wind.
And part of the reason you said that opening drive for Gehlen, they went for it on fourth down. We're not down on the field. We kind of look at the flags and even fans' hair in the stands blowing, but it's stiffer out there than what we might think or what might be indicated by the film. It's really blowing out there, so that kind of aids in the decision to go for it on those fourth and shorts.
So Gehlen Catholic taking over here at the 33-yard line with 1:51 left to go in the first quarter. Going to throw a deep ball. He's got a guy wide open. He's got Nimmers open down. He takes a cut, and he's going to take it all the way in for a touchdown.
Wow.
So a 67-yard touchdown for Nimmers, and I think Lamar's Gehlen Catholic had that play set up, and they were ready to dial that one up.
Wow, that was an incredible play, Kyle, that time. So it's been sort of a game of two scores on 2 big plays, minus a couple good drives by the Jays. There's just been 2 giant offensive plays on the night.
You almost feel South O'Brien's a little bit fortunate here at this point. They could be down a little bit further, Simon. So it looks like Gehlen Catholic's going to line up and go for 2 out of the shotgun formation. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout for South O'Brien. So South O'Brien's going to go ahead and take their second timeout of the half. We'll go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after this message.
So what do you see in your future? Buying the perfect home with a big oak tree? Watching your child graduate from college? Or finding more time for hobbies during your retirement? Whatever your future holds, make sure you talk with the Farm Bureau Financial Services agent. Together, we'll create a plan that's right for you.
Contact Denise Steffen or Danny Rader in Primgar today.
It's your future. Let's protect it.
Around here, life is a continuous circle. At our best, we have caring people all around us. That's the power of Mercy One, a support network 20,000 strong, including more highly rated specialty services than anyone in the region, personalizing your care, strengthening your circle, keeping you at the center of everything we do. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
So Gehlen Catholic coming up here, lining up to go for two. Going to go ahead and fake it and throw it in the end zone. Nice catch there in the end zone by number 5, Zach Kraft.
Yeah, between covers, there's a defender to both sides that time, but he just split right between the two of them. And number 5, Zach Kraft, with a big 2-point conversion to bring them up by a full 7 points as we near the end of the first half of play. Just under 2 minutes to play, $1:40 left exactly. And so far, the Jays have been the dominant offensive team tonight, and really defensive too, minus a couple plays.
That's right. Gehlen's come out and really played well tonight, and South O'Brien's going to have to make some adjustments here, and maybe it'll be a big special teams play here on the kickoff, Simon. If they could get a nice return and try to get a touchdown punched in here before the end of the first half, with a minute 40 remaining here in the second quarter, with Gehlen Catholic up 14-7, but Gehlen Catholic looks pretty good throwing the ball. They got some shifty receivers out there and make a couple quick moves. And
second quarter's been theirs. When they had that wind at their back, they went right back to their offensive game plan, and they made the most of that quarter with the wind at their back, with putting two touchdowns up on the board.
They definitely have. So we're set out to kick here for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. We have Zach Kraft with the kickoff. A little bit of a shorter kick there with the wind behind him. We'll see if South O'Brien can get a decent return here. Ooh, a nice little cut to the outside. So a decent return for South O'Brien out to the 39-yard line with just took 8 seconds off the clock there on that return. So a minute 32 left to go in the first half here. We'll see what South O'Brien comes out with here, Simon, as they're not much of a passing team, and they got one timeout left here, so might need another one of those big plays to get them down in position to score.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him put the ball in the air once and just try to get something going here.
Looks like they're going to hand it off to Davis. Oh, nice cut to the outside. If he can get around that edge, he might take it. Got an angle coming down here, but Davis is going. Just not quite that breakaway speed that Wilson has, but what a nice run to come out here and start that drive.
Yeah, it doesn't have the overgear drive, quite the overgear drive, but he's still quick, and he took a big chunk of yards down to the 19-yard line of the Jays with $1:20 to go. And all of a sudden, Kyle, South O'Brien Wolverines right back in business, looking to try to knot this thing up at halftime. That was a big play, a momentum shift, because with the running team and what the clock is their enemy, that changes the tide.
He had a really nice cut on the outside there, that last run. So he's going to try it up the middle this time, and Lamar's Gehlen Catholic ready for that run.
Again, where have they seen their success? Their 3 positive plays in the last few drives have been where? On the right side.
On the right side and outside.
Yep. They have not been able to run up the middle at all tonight. And
South O'Brien hurrying up here a little bit with just a little bit over a minute left to go. Oh! So it looks like Jackson Lusher backed up the pass there, and it looks like he got tripped up by a lineman there.
Just got his feet caught up in a lineman and took a big loss on that one, and now might have to call a timeout. And
so
that's
South
exactly
O'Brien,
what they're going to do, their final timeout.
So they were going to have their first pass attempt there of the night, but just not able to get that pass off with the backed up and got tripped up. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and long, unfortunately, here.
About a 3rd and 15 or almost 16 on that. And like you say, just kind of a couple of unfortunate events after that big run, Kyle. But, we've seen the weakness, and I don't know, halftime is all about adjustments and kind of analyzing what's happened. And thus far, Lamar's Gehlen Catholic has been able to do exactly what they wanted. South O'Brien found a weakness on that right side. Expect a lot more runs to the outside, a lot more space runs, because up the middle, they've just got it clogged with that big defensive line front.
So 3rd and long here, Simon. I'm thinking that, down here about the 25-yard line, you at least want to get half this back on this play and then give yourself a chance on 4th down, because you don't want to go into this 4th and 15. So coming out in their traditional I formation with one split out to the right here. We'll see what South O'Brien dials up. Looks like they are going to drop back to pass. Lusher did a nice job of just getting around the end there, but man, that throw was a difficult throw, running to his left and trying to get it up into the wind. So,
and you're right, just at that point, fighting not to take a big loss. So a tough play there, and now, like you say, looking at a 4th and 15, most likely going to go for it here. But you're in a tough situation. This is not an easy down and distance, especially for a running team.
So you need to break off a big play or hope for a penalty or something big here to get you a first down. First down just inside the 10-yard line, so looking to get at least 15 yards here on this play. So South O'Brien is coming out, split out a little bit more on this possession, or this handoff. Going to hand it off to Davis. So kind of hoping there to spread them out a little bit and hope they find a gap, but not able to find a gap there.
So bend and don't break, and that's what the Jays did there. So as the clock is ticking, change of possession, it's under 30 seconds.
So it is. That was third down. So they are.
I was confused. I thought that was 4. So did all the gentlemen in the press box.
So they're going to hand it off again to Davis. So I'm assuming the sideline over there must have had the wrong down marker on. So
that same end results. We were off the down, which I'm not sure, but I was wondering when the clock didn't stop on a change of possession, which it typically does. Now it does at 15 seconds. Gehlen Catholic will be content, I'm sure, just to kneel on this and go into the halftime up by a possession.
Will be interesting to see what they do here, son. I don't know. They might take a shot down the field. They've had some pretty good success throwing that ball, and they are coming out in a shotgun formation here. So they do have a timeout left, so South O'Brien needs to be careful here and not give up a big play before the end of the half.
I'd be surprised, but you're right. They're showing that they're going to try.
And he's going to drop back to pass and had some nice pressure there. Almost a little bit of a screen play to the sideline there for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. So Livermore with the completion is going to go ahead and pick up about 5 yards on first down.
So like you say, they just wanted to see what was available, what they could get with 10 seconds to go. If they saw something big and got a big chunk somehow, broke one away, then they might go for it. And now they're going to call a timeout. So we'll take one with them, Kyle. We'll be back in 60 seconds and wrap up this first half of play.
Have you been there yet? To Sweeney's Clubhouse in Sutherland. Play indoor golf, pool, and darts year-round, and enjoy your favorite brew. Located at 118 Main Street, and it's easy to find, so stop in. The clubhouse and bar also have many sports TVs, and they have NFL Ticket, so you can watch your favorite football games and enjoy a pizza. Now open weekdays at 4:30 p.m. and open Saturday and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Discover the fun at Sweeney's Clubhouse on Main in Sutherland.
And we're back here after the Lamar's Gehlen Catholic took that last time out of that they had for the first half, so they're going to line up in a shotgun here and just hoping that South O'Brien can avoid a big play down the field. Going to go ahead and throw it out to Nimmers there on the right side. And he did get out of bounds there with just a half second left, so they will have one more play.
Take one more shot maybe. I'm surprised. They've been pretty aggressive, and I guess I can see why as much success as they had, but with the clock, the time they had left, I just didn't expect this. But you know, they're wanting to keep their gas or their foot on the gas pedal here tonight.
So Nimmers there, I got 1, 2. Looks like he's got about 6 or 7 receptions already tonight. So he's definitely their go-to receiver out of the backfield. So he picked up 18 yards on that completion. So half a second left, and South O'Brien sending quite a few players pretty deep there. Yeah. Just don't want to give a big play here for the end of the half. Getting some pressure there on him. Oh, just about a sack, and he's going to take off and run here. See if South O'Brien can get him corralled. So nice run there, but that's going to go in the first half. So no, the first half pretty much dominated by Lamar's Gehlen Catholic here tonight, other than a couple big runs by South O'Brien with Tristan Wilson with that 82-yard run in the first half. But Lamar's Gehlen Catholic's been pretty much able to move the ball like they wanted to tonight, and they've done a nice job on defense also. So Lamar's Gehlen Catholic leading here 14-7 after 2 quarters of play. We'll go ahead and take a commercial break here and thank our sponsors, and we'll be back here with some halftime numbers.
The Prairie Market in Polina. Wow, more than you might expect in a smaller community grocery store.
Every aisle is going to have things in it that you're surprised at that you can find at a small grocery store. We have a large produce department, and we work really hard at keeping our produce fresh. We're really proud of our meat department. Don and Ben do a great job. If you want something special, they will do that for you.
And to see all of their wonderful weekly specials, visit PaulinaPrairieMarket.com.
The professional lenders at the Savings Bank of Primgar, Hartley, and Lake Park are ready to tackle all of your loan needs, whether it be commercial, personal, or agricultural. So often we are concerned with rates, and yes, their rates are competitive, but more importantly is their service. You can feel comfortable sitting down, talking with one of their loan officers, and feeling confident that you are getting exactly what you wanted and more. The Savings Bank of Primgar, Hartley, and Lake Park, your bankers and your friends. Proud supporters of their communities, member FDIC.
126 watching.
Great job. Thanks again to the folks from Pizza House.
Deals at Gehlen Auto Sales in Polina, including a very nice blue 2010 Chevy Silverado LT 1500 4x4 with many extras and only 110,000 miles. Also a silver 2014 Chevy Equinox LTZ with only 64,500 miles, and it's loaded. Leather, heated seats, nav, rear camera, sunroof, and all-wheel drive, specially priced $16,395. Check out these vehicles at GehenAutosales.com, and remember, if you want it and they don't have it, they will find it at Gehlen Auto Sales in Polina.
Everything you expect from your local Paulina hardware store, but now offering more. Shopping online is convenient because you can do it on your time and the inventory is seemingly endless. Welcome to TrueValue.com. Simply pick your store and your items will ship free right to our door at Paulina Hardware. Plus, we handle the returns, assembly, and simply stated, there's a local person who will take care of you. We love to see you in our store and love that we can bring you the convenience of shopping 24/7 at Paulina Hardware. Online at TrueValue.com.
At TCA, they are working hard every day to make sure each home and business in O'Brien County can connect with today's world. Whether you are in town or in the country, they have a variety of internet solutions for you, now with increased speeds. They also offer managed Wi-Fi to ensure your network signal is strong and secure. Call 930-5593, stop in, or visit their website, tcaexpress.com.
Communities working together for a better tomorrow at TCA.
At Iowa State Bank, we know that our ag community is an important part of Northwest Iowa. That's why we work harder to keep business owners and farmers up and running. For over 75 years, Iowa State Bank has helped farmers upgrade equipment, expand local business operations, and sometimes offer a helping hand. As we look forward to the future, we'll continue to be by your side, available when you need us.
Iowa State Bank, we're ready for you.
Your show was designed by...
And welcome back to Jim Lorenzen Field here in Lamar's, and we definitely want to thank our halftime sponsor, Holzhauer Motors. So go ahead and check those guys out at holzhauermotors.com, and they had a nice truck out there today for Feed the Farmer that they're a proud sponsor of, a nice Dodge pickup that I believe that everybody was kind of looking over, and what a nice vehicle. So make sure you go ahead and check them out at holzhauermotors.com, and we thank them for being our halftime sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get into this Holzhauer halftime show, Kyle, really it's going to be a game of adjustments. It's a 14-7 ball game, so at this point, Gehlen Catholic leads, and they've been dominant in the first half. But it's still anybody's ball game, and that's been the key. For the Wolverines, obviously, I feel like they've got to find a way to expose that right side like they have been, and maybe even put the ball in the air. You saw Gehlen Catholic in quarter number 2, and they had the wind at their back, go to the air attack, which is their bread and butter, and boy, did they do it well. And so as we start the second half of play, it's going to be wind has been a factor tonight, but they used it to your advantage. It's funny, on our drive down here, you're even saying you're going to have a ground team and an air team. Who's going to prevail in these conditions? Well, Lamar's Gehlen Catholic, they sort of stuck to the ground in the first quarter, didn't have a lot of success, but they worked the clock, they got some first downs, they went for it on fourth. They did what they could just to get through that quarter, and when they saw their opportunity to strike, boy, did they take advantage in that second quarter. And they find themselves up at halftime. For South O'Brien, they haven't had a lot of answers on the ground other than that right side. There hasn't been much for positive plays. The Jays have just clogged the middle. They have not allowed the inside run game. The only time that they've had success is around the corner, and lastly, we didn't see Wilson in the last series, so that could be a factor as well in the second quarter, or second half of play. So it'll be really interesting to see what both teams do at halftime. And if you're the Jays, I feel like you do more of what you've been doing. And if you're South O'Brien right now, you're the one who has to find the answer and find that way to penetrate and drive and score. Because they just haven't been able to do that tonight.
That's right. South O'Brien has had a hard time getting some pressure on the quarterback there, and the one time they did, they had a late hit called on him, so you're going to have to find a way to get some pressure on him, but also keep Livermore contained, because he is a shifty running back, or a quarterback that can run, and so South O'Brien's going to make some good defensive adjustments here at halftime. And you're right. Lamar's Gehlen Catholic pretty much dominated that first half. They came out, took the ball down the field. They had a false start there on that, 4th and 6 inches or so, whatever it was, and put them back, and then South O'Brien was able to stop them there. And then also they had another drive with a turnover deep. Yeah. So South O'Brien should feel somewhat fortunate just to be down 7 points here. They could easily be down another touchdown or two. And like you said, they're going to have to make some adjustments on offense, because Lamar's Gehlen Catholic is definitely stacking the box. They got 10 guys up there in the box. So when we're talking about that box, just a few yards off the line of scrimmage, pretty much all their defensive players are right there. They got a safety deep just in case Wilson happens to break one, or hopefully he can come back here in the second half. That will be a big factor. Or Riley Davis. He's also a very capable back there for South O'Brien. But they got one guy back there deep, hoping to catch him if they do break one deep. But South O'Brien's going to have to mix it up here a little bit and find some plays, like you said, to get them some positive yardage that can get them to that first down situation. Just getting those 2 or 3 yard runs isn't getting them to that first down and forcing them to punt the ball.
Yeah, and let's be honest here. It's senior night. It's a home game. It's a cold night. It's a brand new field. The first time they played on it, they're the underdog. They're 4-2. They're still controlling their destiny. They're playing like they want this game tonight, and it showed so far. So I'm looking forward to a second half. I expect nothing more than a battle right down to the final possession of this game, Kyle. I think there will be some adjustments. I think we will see a change in this second half of play. But you're right, everything you said. It's been Lamar's Gehlen first half, and we'll see if the Wolverines, how bad they want it. They're so far undefeated on the season, ranked quite high and in control of their destiny as well, and they're fighting for a home game, and they're on the road, and there's nothing more they'd like to do than to spoil senior night. I mean, you go back to your high school days, you've got one side saying, we want this is our house, and the other saying, I love to spoil it in your house. You're going to have two teams that know one another, that respect one another, but certainly want to beat one another. And you're going to see that, who's got the grind and the grit on this cool football Friday night.
That's exactly right. Both teams want this game pretty bad. With we're looking at those RPI standings before the game started, and South O'Brien's second in Class A, and we have Lamar's Gehlen Catholic at 14, I believe.
Right.
So
they climb a good chunk if they won tonight, and they know it.
And, Lamar's Gehlen Catholic hasn't had a cupcake schedule by any means. They played some tough opponents too. So both teams have had some tough opponents played along the way and some close games. And so it should be a great second half coming up here, and we'll definitely see what adjustments. I believe South O'Brien will get the ball first to take off the second half, and I believe when
possession
it will be. And Lamar's Gehlen Catholic goes into the win in the first drive of the game. So I believe when South O'Brien gets the ball here, I don't think they'll go into the win.
They'll go into the wind, I believe. So they'll have the wind at their back to end the game. So what they've got to do is manage the clock in that third quarter. They've got to sustain a drive. Because they don't want to. The best offense is a good defense sometimes. And right now, the way Lamar's is playing, the Gehlen Catholic Jays, they've got to control the ball to majority of this third quarter to keep that airmail from dropping in on them.
That's right. Like you said, they can control the ball, go down the field, and punch one in here and tie this thing up. But also to keep the ball out of the hands of Lamar's Gehlen Catholic with the wind behind them. You don't want them to throw that ball down the field again on you.
An 8-minute ground pound drive would be just exactly what Coach Furman ordered.
And I got to imagine both teams are enjoying being in the warm locker room at this point.
Kind of thawing out a little bit. I'll tell you, this is a top-of-the-line, classy booth that we're in right now, broadcaster's booth, and it's still a little chilled in here. I can't even imagine the players and the fans out there, Kyle. We're pretty fortunate because you see blankets out there and stocking hats. You see a lot of the hands when they're kind of curling them up and breathing into them. You see a lot of people moving around trying to keep warm. So it's a cool night. It's deceptive when you're watching on our video tonight. You don't see the wind and you don't feel that or hear that in the mic. That's because we're inside. I'll tell you what, it is a cold, unseasonably cold, early October evening.
Sure is, and that wind's a huge factor with how strong it's blowing. Those flags are just straight out with the wind blowing here tonight, and the press box definitely a popular place here tonight. We've had a lot of
during halftime. We've had some guests.
A lot of guests coming up here just to warm up a little bit. I can't blame them for that. And so sitting out there in that cold weather, So we got halftime here, just coming up with 4 minutes left to go before the start of the third quarter with Lamar's Gehlen Catholic leading here 14-7. We'll go ahead and take a timeout here, Simon, and we'll come back and kind of recap the scores here from the first half, and we'll get set to go underway with the third quarter.
All right.
So what do you see in your future? Buying the perfect home with a big oak tree? Watching your child graduate from college? Or finding more time for hobbies during your retirement? Whatever your future holds, make sure you talk with the Farm Bureau Financial Services agent. Together, we'll create a plan that's right for you.
Contact Denise Steffen or Danny Rader in Primgar today.
It's your future. Let's protect it.
Around here, life is a continuous circle. At our best, we have caring people all around us. That's the power of Mercy One, a support network 20,000 strong, including more highly rated specialty services than anyone in the region, personalizing your care, strengthening your circle, keeping you at the center of everything we do. Mercy One, your best life, our one purpose.
And then we'll go from there. Because usually they still put a couple more minutes on the clock after the band.
I wonder if they will tonight or not, with it being so cold.
I'm going to take one more minute.
And we got through everybody twice.
Sweeney's Farm and Home Center and the Paulina Building Center are proud to support the South O'Brien Wolverines. They know it takes teamwork to accomplish goals on the playing field as well as in business. They're glad to be a part of the community team by helping make dreams come true. When you need building supplies and hardware, talk with the folks at Sweeney's Farm and Home Center and the Paulina Building Center. And good luck, South O'Brien Wolverines, in accomplishing your goals.
And welcome back to Jim Lorenzen Field here in Lamar's with this beautiful complex here. Like Simon was saying, is their first year in use, so they had a couple games here, I believe, but I believe it's the first game for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic here this year.
On this field, I believe it is, yes.
So what a beautiful complex here that I have here. So South O'Brien out in the field now, and Lamar's Gehlen Catholic warming up, and we want to thank Holzhauer Motors again for being our halftime sponsor. We'll go ahead and recap the scoring plays here from the first half. So in the first quarter, we had a nice 82-yard one by Tristan Wilson with 4:05 left there in the first quarter. So South O'Brien had just gotten the ball back there, and if you recall, they had a fumble on the first down, and able to recover that fumble. Ended up being a pretty big play, with that next touchdown run by Wilson. Second quarter was all dominated by Lamar's Gehlen Catholic with a Nimmers touchdown at 4:59 left in the first quarter. or second quarter, excuse me. The extra point was no good on that play. And then with 1:40 remaining, we had a 67-yard touchdown pass from Nimmers to from quarterback Livermore. So Nimmers scoring both of the first half touchdowns for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic, and then the 2-point conversion was good there by Zach Kraft. So that leaves South O'Brien trailing 14-7 here in the after the first half of play. So it looks like they went ahead and put a couple more minutes of time on the clock here to let these players get a little bit warmed up here after going into the locker room, getting in a nice warm
you hit
locker
that
room.
cold air coming out of the locker room, and instantly your muscles, ooh. So keeping loose, keeping limber, and of course on the sideline when you're keeping active, a little bit easier to do. But as we mentioned, it is a cool night, a pretty stiff wind that is just gusting out of that west-northwest sort of an angle, so right across the field from right to left as we see it, and it has played a factor in that first half, and I suspect it will. I don't think the wind has died down much for the second half, so it's going to continue to be a factor into the second half of play. So again, as we mentioned here in our last break, we'll see what kind of adjustments that we see. South O'Brien will start with the ball with going into the wind, and which will bode well for them in this third quarter, and expect them to work hard to try to keep that time of possession, that ball control, and just get some first downs and hopefully get some positive run yards. Like you said, minus a couple big plays, they haven't seen a lot of success on the ground. Before we get ready for that second half too, Kyle, I did want to run through, as we wrap up our Holes Hour halftime show, all of the sponsors who are making tonight's stream broadcast possible through Fuller Digital Solutions on our YouTube channel. They include Sutherland Implement, along with Sweeney's and Polina Building Center, Prairie Market, as well as Savings Bank of Primgar, Gehlen Auto Sales, along with Polina Hardware Store, the Community Agency, and Iowa State Bank, Farm Bureau Financial Services in Primgar, and Mercy One. So we thank those fine 10 sponsors, along with Polina Body Shop, who is our scoreboard sponsor of the night as well. And with that being said, we've got about 20 ticks on the clock, and we'll be ready to get underway with second half of play. And I'll tell you what, Kyle, I do love to get into these sort of games. I mean, I'm tuned up for this. We knew it was going to be a good game coming into it. It was a little bit different than what I expected in the first half, but we're still within a one-possession ball game. It's anybody's game, 14-7. And we're going to see this come down to the wire. I can just feel it. If you want some sweet action, we'll put a friendly wager, a hot cocoa.
There we go. Hot cocoa really hit the spot tonight. And as we thought here, Simon, so it looks like Lamar's Gehlen Catholic will kick off into the wind here. So South O'Brien will have the wind at their back. And I was kind of watching the players warm up there, and I did see Wilson kind of come out late out of the locker room.
Did you?
I saw him do some sprints over there. So
that's a factor, because he was ginger on that one ankle, and we wondered what did that mean for the rest of tonight. Didn't look like it was season ending, but we wondered if we'd see him in the game tonight.
Yeah, so he was running there, and he had a little bit of a limp there. So we got the kickoff here, and a bit of a tough kickoff into the wind. That was going to go out of bounds, so that will be a penalty on Lamar's Gehlen Catholic with the kick out of bounds.
And only about a 30-yarder. Again, it's tough. You see how that wind just takes it down. There's no height on it, just like we saw a couple of those punts in the first half. That wind, I haven't really gotten a view of the flags. I'll try to do that for us, Kyle, but off in the distance, you can just see that stiff wind and those flags, and it has been that all night and intense. It's constant. It's steady. It's not pulsing. It's steady.
So just a little bit of a penalty there on Lamar's Gehlen Catholic for that ball going out of bounds. So a kick out of bounds places the ball automatically on the 35-yard line. So South O'Brien is going to take over, and I do see Wilson back there deep in the backfield for the Wolverines here on this first down of the third quarter. And they're going to hand it off to Wilson, and he's going to have a nice run out to the right. Ooh, he broke a couple tackles there, Simon. I thought he was just about going to slip away. We got a late flag there, so a little bit after curricular. Yeah, that's right.
Some extracurricular into that pile. I couldn't see from our angle, but Wilson came out with a vengeance there, and it was still sort of an inside run, but just outside of right tackle. Found some space and cut it right. So again, not right up the gut, and that is what they've got to do. They've got to get it outside. They've had no success up the gut. So an additional, looks like
penalty on Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. Personal foul. So a nice 10, 11-yard run there, plus another 15 yards tacked on. So here you are, first and 10, and you got a nice run and a penalty.
You're in Gehlen Catholic territory already.
That's right. Your ball's inside the 39-yard line here already. So nice start to the third quarter for South O'Brien. Going to hand it off to Wilson again. And you notice, Simon, both these first two plays, where did they go with the ball?
Yeah, right side.
Right side of the line.
And the weakness. It was a little bit of an inside run, but still, you're exposing that right side, which is the one place they've had success tonight.
So Wilson there with about 4 yards on that carry. And unofficial stats here for the first half, but I had South O'Brien with 189 yards of total offense, and all of that coming on the ground between Wilson and Davis. Going to go ahead and hand it off this time to the left side to Wilson.
And again, nothing going on that side.
Just not much there on the left-hand side. Looks like he might pick up a couple yards, so going to bring up 3rd and long here for the Wolverines.
Maybe got a half yard at most that time, Kyle.
It's about like 3rd and 5 coming up here, so kind of going to take a bet here, Simon, and think we're going to see a run to the right side on this play.
Maybe I wouldn't be surprised, or maybe even at some point a screen the way they're bottling aggressive, but I don't know if they're a screen team, but I feel like it'd work the way that the Jays are coming.
We got a pitch out here to the right side, and Wilson's got a little bit of running room there, and he's going to go ahead and have a nice run, and did a really nice job there. They had some pursuit, but he cut it back in and took it right to the right side, and picks up a big first down there for South O'Brien.
And we talked about that one adjustment, and so far we've seen a couple good runs, and they've all come, like you say, on the right side. And now the ground crew in business for the Wolverines.
So Wilson picks up there about 6 yards on that play, so it gives him a first down. Ball down about the 25-yard line.
And, he really
just
runs
inside
with
the
his
25.
head down. He runs hard, doesn't he? Just right up the middle. He's ready for contact.
He really is a complete running back. He has, he's got the power, like you just mentioned. He's got the quickness to move around somebody. He's also got the shiftiness, and you're definitely not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. So Wilson picks up just a couple of yards there on that first down play. So ball about the 22-yard line. Got a flag there, so it's like a pre-snap penalty. It's going to be a false start on South O'Brien. So kind of like we mentioned earlier, South O'Brien definitely a team that doesn't want to get behind the chains. Just not a team that can make up that ground.
Yeah, and that was a big one. When you have that momentum and you have a penalty like that, that can really kill momentum. And like you said, especially when you're a run team, it's hard to get that back. So it brings a 2nd and 8 to a 2nd and 13 situation. Obviously, you're getting into that 4-down territory anyway, but you don't like to have to think that way this early in the...
So 2nd and long here, and South O'Brien's only had one. Oh, we had a fumble on the play. Looks like Jackson Lucia was able to pick that up and go ahead and get some least positive yardage out of that.
But again, sort of, we've seen the ball come out a few times. We've only seen one actual takeaway, but that ball has still been slippery and just very fortunate there to keep a hold of that. And like you say, even get 2 yards out of that, Kyle. So bring it up now with 3rd down and long situation.
So, 3rd and 11, and like you said, Simon, it's amazing how many fumbles there have been tonight. There's actually only been 1 turnover on the night, so South O'Brien's going to come up and 2 split to the left, 1 out to the right, and Lucia is going to drop back to pass. And just a little bit high there on the throw. Looked like he was looking for Zeke Lundquist on that throw. Just a little bit overthrown there. So that's going to bring up 4th and long there for South O'Brien. And South O'Brien is not a team that likes to be in a passing situation. They want to pass when you're not expecting it.
Right.
So
and that's sort of a tough spot of the field too. You don't want to punt here.
Ooh, looks like we had a penalty call on this play too. I missed the flag there.
Oh, there was a hold. I did too, and it's declined to bring up the 4th and long. I didn't see that laundry on the field as well. But they did decline it, so it's 4th and 11 either way. And so now it's sort of a tough call. Like you said, this isn't the down and distance that South O'Brien is built for. So we'll see what Coach Furman has up his sleeve.
So 4th and long here after a nice drive for South O'Brien. So big play coming up here. He's going to go ahead and pitch it out to Wilson. Not going to have much running room there, so
he swallowed up.
Stuck with the running game there on 4th and long, and maybe Coach Furman was thinking we're deep in territory here. We can try to pick it up with the run. If we don't get it, not the worst case scenario, and Lamar's Gehlen Catholic's going to have to go into the win.
Obviously,
here.
The left side was the wide side of the field, which is probably why the pitch left and tried to put Wilson in space as athlete. But just surprised that they just haven't had the success there, but still trying to pound away at it. But like you say, they feel like they're still in a good defensive spot here with the Jays pinned inside their own 30.
Gehlen Catholic taking over there, like Simon said. Looks like they're going to do a QB draw there, and he got some running room up the middle for Livermore. Going to go ahead and pick up a first down. So a nice call there coming out with the draw play. After having all that success passing tonight, you drop back to pass, and you think you're going to get a good rush on the quarterback, and that just kind of opens up the middle.
And that's exactly right. He had all sorts of space ahead of him, and that was a good play call early on, because South O'Brien, everybody in the stands, on the team, on the sideline, were thinking pass there. And Livermore's an athlete. You give him that kind of space, he's going to make you pay.
So it picks up 12 yards there on first down. He is going to drop. He's going to do a back-to-back draw plays there. And what a big hit there by South O'Brien. They're going to call a flag there.
Helmet. Yep. You're going to tack on 15. He'll be out of the game most likely if that helmet
hit him up just a little bit high there.
It was a hit, and he was kind of ducked down, so it was hard, but he did make that contact.
I believe that was
helmet to helmet.
Was that Matt Reedman on the hit there, Simon? I believe it was. So big momentum shift here. South O'Brien comes out and takes the ball and kind of having a nice drive down the field and able to not to convert on fourth down. And then Lamar's Gehlen Catholic getting the ball back with back-to-back draw plays, picking up nice yardage, and then a late hit there, or a high hit, I guess it should call, and 24 yards on the ground plus another 15-yard penalty, 39 yards, and you're in business. So ball at the 36.5 yard line. Going to go ahead and hand it off here up the middle, and nice penetration by South O'Brien. So a nice job there by South O'Brien. Looks like we had senior Thomas Nelson in on there in the tackle. Looks like he was assisted in there, but nice job by South O'Brien with a 2-yard loss there, or a 1-yard loss on first down. So it's going to bring up second and long for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic, and kind of feel like this is a big drive here in the third quarter, because South O'Brien trailing by 7, and you don't want to go down 2 scores, so you definitely want to get a stop here on this drive.
Right.
So coming out in that shotgun sort of wishbone formation here, going to go ahead and hand it off on the left-hand side to Nimmers. Boy, he's a shifty and quick running back there. He took that around the left side, but nice pursuit by South O'Brien to...
And again, with the Jays going into the wind this quarter, I think we thought it was flip-flop, but you've noticed a lot more ground game again. Even the quarterback draw, they caught South O'Brien by surprise, thinking they're putting it through the air, but with the wind at their back, with the wind in their face, they've just been content to again try to work the ground, work the clock. They've had some success, and now they're in a third and situation where, again, they're probably going for it. They're thinking 2 downs, so they're not necessarily thinking they have to get it all here.
So 3rd and 7 coming up here, and like you said, they just want to pick up a few yards on this one and then try to get a nice pressure there by South O'Brien, and South O'Brien had a defender out there, but the ball just able to sneak over the top of him there, and that's going to give Lamar's Gehlen Catholic a first down. I believe that was number 12 once again. That was Jacob Nimmers again on the reception, so he's definitely the go-to receiver, and so
they just found him in space, and he made a move when he caught that ball.
So a couple of big things happened there. South O'Brien did get some pressure on him there. Just got the ball off on time, and then he also had a guy out in the flat just in front of the pass, but he was able to get it over the top of him there to pick up a big first down. Looks like we're going to have 1st and goal right at the 10-yard line. Livermore's going to go ahead and motion over Nimmers to the right-hand side. He's going to hand it off. He's going to keep it up the middle. Still going there. What a nice run. Nice push up the middle. I definitely didn't think he was going to get that many yards when he first took that ball.
2 yards maybe on the play, and then they just kept grinding and pushing.
Looks like he's going to go ahead and pick up 5 yards there on 1st and goal. He's going to take that ball up to the 5-yard line.
They've got just a spirit and momentum on their side right now, and they're feeling it.
They definitely do, and it's a game of momentum, and things can change in a hurry here. If you have a turnover here, or you never know what can happen on this play. But South O'Brien needs to make a big defensive stand here, try to keep Lamar's Gehlen Catholic out of the end zone.
They really do.
Coming out under center on this play, he's going to go ahead and pitch it out to the left-hand side. Got nice pursuit. Nice job by South O'Brien there. Had several guys.
About 4 or 5 guys out there just waiting to make that play.
So it looks like Jacob Nimmers on that carry for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. He's going to go ahead and pick up maybe a half a yard there or so. So ball about the 4.5 yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal for the Lamar's Gehlen Catholic Jays.
there's a delay on it.
So all the players there looking over the sideline for the call from coach. It looks like we're ready to go here on this 3rd down and goal play. We'll see if Gehlen Catholic keeps it on the ground. Going to go ahead and fake it up the middle, and Livermore's got the ball yet. Looks like he's going to be a little bit short there, so he did pick up a couple yards.
Yeah.
So
he saw that little seam, and he ducked and tried to dive through it, but that hole closed in a hurry and left him about 2 yards shy of the goal, and looks like they're going for it on 4th and goal here, and this is a big play for both teams, Kyle.
This is a huge play here in the 3rd quarter, coming up on 5 minutes left with the 4th and goal, just about the 2.5-yard line here, so 2.5 yards to go, and it's going to hand it off up the middle, and nice penetration by South O'Brien. Boy, that was a big play, Simon. So nice defensive stand by South O'Brien to stop him here. Definitely don't want to give up a score to the Lamar's Gehlen Catholic Jays, but definitely when they're going into the win, it's been hard to score into the win tonight, and nice stop there for South O'Brien.
Reminiscent of that first drive of this ball game where Lamar's Gehlen Catholic marched it all the way down the field, and the Wolverines forced them into a 4th and goal situation and a turnover on downs, and they chewed a lot of clock again. There's only 4:50 to go in this 3rd quarter of play. And the Wolverines are backed up, so they do need to change field position at the very least and really need to take advantage of this quarter.
So South O'Brien coming out in their I formation. I'm going to guess they're going to hand it off up here to Wilson. He had a nice little cut to the outside there, and a nice tackle there by Lamar's Gehlen Catholic, because I kind of had a feeling if he didn't catch him there, he was going to break that one out.
Von Arb, I tell you what, you saw that cut coming to the outside, and he closed that hole, because otherwise, you're right, that was going to be a much bigger run.
He's going to go ahead and pick up 5 yards on 1st down there for
still a good
Tristan
first
Wilson.
Down pickup for sure.
Definitely when you're deep in your own territory, you don't want to have a negative play, and South O'Brien needs to keep picking up these 1st downs here, coming up with just a little over 4 minutes left to go here, so you want to keep that wind at your back and keep driving that ball down the field. Wilson to the right side this time, and you don't think he's picking up much there, but you kind of see that pile just moving forward. He's going to go ahead and pick up another.
Yeah, that's about 3.5 more yards.
Going to give him 4 yards on that carry, so it's going to bring up,
wow,
a very 3rd and manageable 1 yard here. And this is exactly what South O'Brien wants. So 3rd and 1 here for South O'Brien, and look at all those players just stacked up the middle, and looks like we're going to have a false start on South O'Brien here.
They shot themselves a couple times with these.
You just saw that right side of the line take off a little early there.
So they're going to be looking at a 3rd and 6 now backed up. So it's a different ball game.
Yeah, you're definitely feeling good about that 3rd and 1, and then you get that 5-yard penalty. Makes it a little bit tougher to pick up that 1st down here. So we'll see what South O'Brien comes out with here. I'm going to guess they're going to keep the ball on the ground here. So Wilson took the ball off to the right-hand side there and tried to cut it back, but they were there for the cutback on that play.
You go for it here for them. I wouldn't think so, but we can't punch it in, are they?
Yeah, they got more than we thought. It's 4th and 2 to go, and I tell you what, you wouldn't think they'd go for it here, but
yeah, South O'Brien can't take a chance here. They got to punt this ball away.
They haven't had the momentum. They've caught some breaks, but you would think they're going to punt it.
Not a great punt there, but definitely had a great bounce. And we got Nimmers on the right, taking on to the left side here. What a nice return for Nimmers there for Gehlen Catholic. So South O'Brien had a couple of defenders there, but I'll tell you that Nimmers is quick, and he kind of put on the afterjets there and took it around the left-hand side.
Been a star tonight. He's been certainly a spotlight player tonight. There's no doubt about it.
So great field position here for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic, and once again South O'Brien's going to go right back on defense, unable to pick up a 1st down there. And huge penalty on that false start.
Yeah, big time change of momentum, and the Jays are in business on the Wolverine 35.
Going to go ahead and hand it off to Nimmers. Not much room there. Nice job by South O'Brien keeping that contained up the middle.
You expect some more ground and pound here because the wind, of course, in the face of the Jays, and there's 2:40 and counting to go in this 3rd quarter of play. They've done that. They did this the first half, and they're doing it again the second. They're just trying to work the clock, and you know what? They've had some success on the ground, quite honestly, Kyle. They really have had some success, so they're going to keep working that ground, getting rid of the clock, and try to make it to the 4th quarter with the lead.
Most of their success on the ground has come by their quarterback, too, Livermore, tonight. He's done a nice job running most of his passes. We got a Had a blitz there, it looks like, by South O'Brien, so a nice job by getting in the backfield. Looks like we had Matt Riedemann getting through.
Almost caused the fumble, too.
Just about knocked that ball out of
He did
there.
knock it out, and then the Livermore able to get back on it, or that could have been disastrous for the Jays. As it stands, it's a big loss and a big play for the Wolverines, but certainly could have been a lot worse for the Jays there.
And I was just thinking in my head right before that play happened that South O'Brien, with the momentum on Lamar's Gehlen side, South O'Brien needed a big play to kind of change the momentum of this game, and that was a big play. You don't want to have a penalty here to give Lamar's Gehlen a first down, and coming up with a minute and a half left in the third quarter. So they're going to go and hand it off to Nimmers here. He's got a little bit of room there. Nice cut. Just tripped him up a little bit. So South O'Brien able just to trip him up a little bit. If he doesn't trip him up there, the next guy wouldn't caught up to him. That would have been a first down, if not a touchdown on that play.
He's another guy that in space, he's very, very dangerous, and he's brought him up into a situation where now it's fourth, and probably you go for it, fourth and a long 6.
So we went from about a 3rd and 18 there to a 4th and 6.
And based on everything so far, they're thinking, well, worst case scenario, we pin South O'Brien in their own territory. They're gonna try to.
So a big play here with the 4th and 5, 4th and 6 coming up for Gehlen Catholic. Oh, a nice play there. South O'Brien able to knock that pass down.
And that was big. Like you say, a couple fourth down conversions that South O'Brien has opened up in the second half and been able to turn over them on downs. First drive of the game, Lamar's Gehlen converted 4 of them in a row. So a good job to Bo and not break that time.
That was Case Mormon on that knockdown. So what a big play there by the senior for South O'Brien, knocking that pass down, not even giving it a chance to be caught. So
and under a minute to play, and we've a big series for the Wolverines.
And they are going to roll out and pass here. So we got the wind behind them. So just will take a chance and.
Just tucked in right.
Looks like Jackson Lucier just kept that ball, like you said, out, and it looks like we're going to have a late hit here. So
Lucier got about a 7-yard run on that play, and as he was going out of bounds, I believe he just was hit a little bit late, so you're going to tack 15 onto that, and so now the Wolverines are back in business, and they're not as affected by the wind, so they're not so concerned about their offense in terms of the wind because of that ground game, but they certainly want to take advantage of keeping the ball out of the Jays' hands, so they successfully at least avoided any scores in this third quarter, it appears. I mean, the quarter's not over, and the fourth quarter's going to decide this game. Kyle, what can they do with this drive, South O'Brien, and can the defense hold when Gehlen goes back to the air in the fourth quarter?
I love that play call coming out there, starting this drive off, mixing it up a little bit, do a play-action pass.
Getting your guys in space, your athletes in space.
Going to hand it off right up the middle to Negus, so I think the first time they've called Negus' name tonight for a handoff out the middle, and definitely keeps the offense, the defensive line a little bit more honest when you hand it off up to that fullback up the middle. He's going to go ahead and pick up about 5 yards there on first down. Wonder if South O'Brien will want to get another playoff here for the end of this quarter. We got about 20 seconds left here in the third quarter. Wonder if we'll see another pass play here, with the wind behind you, and might want to get one more pass off before you have to go back into that stiff breeze. Ooh, and Jackson Lucier fumbles the snap there. Looks like he's going to go ahead and recover that.
And it was a pass play designed. I could see the receivers going downfield waiting to be called. But again, when they've tried to pass, it has not. It just doesn't seem to work out well for them. So a bot snap, and that wraps up the third quarter. So we'll take a 60-second with them. 14-7, Gehlen on top. Back in 60 seconds.
Deals at Gennade Auto Sales in Polina, including a very nice blue 2010 Chevy Silverado LT 1500 4x4 with many extras and only 110,000 miles. Also a silver 2014 Chevy Equinox LTZ with only 64,500 miles, and it's loaded. Leather, heated seats, nav, rear camera, sunroof, and all-wheel drive, specially priced $16,395. Check out these vehicles at GennadeAutoSales.com, and remember, if you want it and they don't have it, they will find it at Gennade Auto Sales in Polina.
Everything you expect from your local Paulina hardware store, but now offering more. Shopping online is convenient because you can do it on your time and the inventory is seemingly endless. Welcome to TrueValue.com. Simply pick your store and your items will ship free right to our door at Paulina Hardware. Plus, we handle the returns, assembly, and simply stated, there's a local person who will take care of you. We love to see you in our store and love that we can bring you the convenience of shopping 24/7 at Paulina Hardware. Online at TrueValue.com.
So we're back here with fourth quarter action from Jim Lorenzen Field here in Lamar's with South O'Brien with the ball on a 3rd and 5. Looks like the ball's about on the 42.5-yard line, so South O'Brien just needs to get some positive yards on this play and most likely go for it on 4th down.
They did throw it successfully. Great catch.
Oh,
great defense to knock it away. He had it in his hands.
I gotta be honest, that call a little surprised me a little bit, coming out, throwing it into the wind there, but
that ball just made that call. It did float.
That ball just floated up there, and Lamar's Gehlen Catholic able to catch up with that ball. So a big 4th down here.
Yeah, he had it in his hands, and the defender credited him for not giving up on that. He was able to rip it out of his paws because it floated. It was there. Yeah, it appeared to be caught, and like you say, a surprise call, which is what Furman was going for. But credit the defender on that one.
Definitely was a surprise call. I kind of figured they would come out and try to get 3 yards on that play and set up a 4th and 2 and pound it in for the 1st down, and the play clock was running down there. Is a pretty good timeout there, I got to say, by the quarterback Lucier, because that play clock had winded down, and you don't want to get up there and snap the ball and have a fumble. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break also, and want to thank our sponsors again. We'll be right back after this break.
At TCA, they are working hard every day to make sure each home and business in O'Brien County can connect with today's world. Whether you are in town or in the country, they have a variety of internet solutions for you, now with increased speeds. They also offer managed Wi-Fi to ensure your network signal is strong and secure. Call 930-5593. Stop in or visit their website, tcaexpress.com.
Communities working together for a better tomorrow at TCA.
All right, and we're back here with South O'Brien taking the timeout. As we just cut away there, they had tried to get up to the line quickly. The play call came in a little bit late from the sideline, and I think a smart timeout versus try to hurry that play up and have a fumble.
It's a big play in the game.
It's definitely a big play here. So Gehlen Catholic stacking the line once again here. Going to hand it off to Wilson.
And he just
kind of pushed that pile and
it's going to be close.
It's going to be close.
A second effort there.
I think he's going to go ahead and pick that up.
It is right there, and that was a good second effort because they have not ran successfully up the middle, but he ran with a full head of steam, and additionally his lineman kept the legs turning, and I think he might have got it. But
must be a little closer than we're thinking, Simon. Looks like they're going to go ahead and take a measurement here, but
it appears just from our vantage point he got it, but boy, it's still close.
Yeah, I think he got that 1st down there, but when he first got that ball,
I didn't think he was going to on that first push, but credit him and the lineman. They just kept turning and turning and turning and pushing that pile.
And that ball went to the right.
They had to have it.
That's right, and that ball went to the right side of the line again. So right in the middle of the football. So 1st down for South O'Brien.
They had about 4 inches to spare, maybe 5.
Ref didn't even have to pull out his index card like they did in that NFL game here a few years ago when he pulled his card out to see if there was any space between. So 1st down for South O'Brien, and a definitely big play for the Wolverines there with the ball just inside the 38-yard line.
Yeah, down by a score here at this stage in the game when Lamar's is going back to their pass game soon. You've got to milk the clock and get points.
Just look at all those players right up there in the box. So if Wilson can just get through that line, he could break it pretty quick there, but they're just putting every player right in that box every time.
Everybody's within a few yards of that ball. I mean, nobody's deeper than 5 yards off it.
So a nice 1st down run there for South O'Brien. Every time you can pick up 4 yards on 1st down, that's a good positive play, and you pick up 4 yards every play, you're going to keep picking up those 1st downs, eating up the clock, and eventually pinch that ball into the end zone.
Doing a better job of pushing up the middle. Like you say, everybody's just stacked.
Boy, Lamar's Gehlen Catholic definitely getting penetration. You just see them firing off the line, so wonder if snap count there is getting to be a little bit predictive, and maybe he wants to mix that up just a little bit for the Wolverines. But he did pick up some positive yardage there. He picked up about 3 more yards, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 for South O'Brien, and keeping things manageable here, and don't want to have another big false start penalty like we had a couple times in the game tonight.
Right, they've had a couple 3rd or 4th and shorts, and just the penalties have hurt them.
And just as we say that, the end over there wasn't able to get set just in time for South O'Brien, and they're going to have a false start on South O'Brien.
But I want to say that they accepted the penalty, so now we're looking at a 3rd and 9.
So So you do have a couple plays here to pick this first down up. So if you can pick up 4 or 5 yards in this play and give yourself a shot on fourth down.
Penalties have killed drives for him tonight.
So South O'Brien go ahead and keep that ball on the ground and going to hand it off to Wilson. Going to get a nice gain on that play. Going to give him about 3 yards or so on that play. So I'm going to bring up a pretty big fourth down here in the fourth quarter with just under 10 minutes left to go. And South O'Brien did use one of their timeouts earlier, so 2 timeouts left in this game. So the clock could become a factor here, especially if you don't pick up a big first down here.
Right.
So the ball is just on the 33-yard line, 4th and 5 here to go. So South O'Brien tried to just do a little bit of a swing pass there to Wilson and unable to convert on that play, and that's going to turn the ball over to Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. What a big play there on the defense.
Zach Kraft that time, he fought off his blocker, and he was right there to make the tackle. I mean, they wanted to get the ball to Wilson in space, and that was the right call, but he just had one guy to beat, and Kraft just shed his block too easily and was in perfect position. So credit the defense that time, and now Gehlen Catholic, I expect a dose of air attack here.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see some passing coming up here, which could be advantageous for South O'Brien if they're not able to complete. It does stop the clock every time. They're going to go ahead and hand it off to Nimbers, as we just both thought they were going to throw the ball. And Nimbers with a nice run there around the right side. He's going to go ahead and pick up looks like he's going to pick up a first. Looks like there is a flag down there over Simon on the 40-yard line, so maybe a big holding penalty here that might move that ball back.
He did have some space. It looked like he was going to be penned in, but then you never can quite tell, because I tell you what, you give him a crease, and he is he's a speedster.
And it looks like there was a reason why he had that space, as they do call the holding penalty. So going to go ahead and back him up 10 yards. So that's going to give Lamar's Gehlen Catholic a 1st and long here. So that's going to go ahead and back it up about 8 yards. So it's going to be a 1st and 18. So spot foul. So just a couple yards past the line of scrimmage with the holding call there. So backs them up 10. So 1st and 18 for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. And we'll see if they stick with the ground game here or if they put the ball up in the air.
I suspect a dose of throwing.
South O'Brien with the blitz. They're just not able to get home. Had a ball down the field. It looks like they're trying to hit number 11, Ethan Peters, and crowd wanting a hold call there, but
the ref said all was clean, but I think the crowd was not agreeing with that call.
So no call there, and kind of like we said, 2nd and 18 coming up here, but with the incomplete pass, it does stop the clock, which South O'Brien is in favor of at this point, because they're a ball control team, and they pound the ball on the ground, and they're not going to be able to pass very successfully with the ball into the wind. So 2nd and long here for Lamar's Gehlen Catholic. We'll see what they come out here with this formation. 2 split out to the right and 2 to the left.
And you got to have someone spying that QB, because I wouldn't be surprised if he runs the ball.
A little bit of a low snap there, but a nice job by quarterback. And
did they say catch? They did say catch.
Ooh, I'm surprised by that. I kind of thought that ball hit off the ground there, but they are going to give him a catch. And
tough angle from where we're at, but I thought the same thing. It looked like the pass was a little bit short, and he might have scooped it off the turf. But either way, he got a couple yards back, bringing up still a 3rd and a long situation, about a 3rd and 14 upcoming.
Nice job there by quarterback Livermore for the Jays, picking up, just like you said, you got 4 yards on that play, so it does bring up a 3rd and 14, and coming up on 8.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. He's going to go ahead and drop back for a pass. Looks like, ooh,
just overthrew.
Just a little bit overthrown there. He did have a guy open, and looks like he's grabbing his leg there a little bit. I thought maybe he's going to be an injury, but nope,
he's
back up.
It almost looked like he stiffened out like a little cramp situation, but brings up an ever-important 4th and 14, assuming they're going to punt in this position.
And it stops the clock again, so it's a advantage for South O'Brien. They're stopping the clock. And
big defensive stand there. They were able to, the way Lamar's was running the ball first half and even a good chunk of that third quarter, a big defensive stand. There are a couple of them as of late here in the game. They're stiffening up.
Don't forget Nimbers is their punter, the one that's had a lot of nice receptions. Ooh, he had a nice penetration there. Needs to come up there and field that ball and hopefully get a return up here. Looks like Reedman back on the return for South O'Brien. So a decent return there up to the 29-yard line or so.
But Kraft, I believe, was part of that team. Zach Kraft, he's been sort of an animal on the defensive side. His name's been called a lot tonight too, and he made that big special teams play. But South O'Brien, with 8:11 to go in the game, in a position where they've been able to move the ball as long as they can sustain the drives and not shoot themselves in the foot with penalties. I suspect we're going to see a decent time-consuming drive here, and obviously a big one, like you say. Seconds are getting precious at this stage in the game, Kyle.
Definitely, been South O'Brien's Achilles heel tonight. They've had just big penalties at the wrong time of the game tonight. So, hand off to Wilson there on first down for South O'Brien, and like Simon said, South O'Brien's going to, do ball control here. It's like Wilson's going to go ahead and pick up about 2 or 3 yards there on first down. So, South O'Brien really needs to get 4 or 5 yards per play here just to keep that chain moving. They're going to keep picking up first downs.
Some more edge runs.
So was that Wilson they took out of the game there?
So.
No, Wilson still's in the backfield there. I thought maybe he came out. He has got a little bit of a limp there. I'm not sure what his injury was in the first half, but
taped him up, I'm sure, at halftime.
There's a nice run there for Wilson. A little bit of a counter action going on there, so it's going to go ahead and pick up about 6 yards there on that play.
Going to bring up a third manageable again, and this is where, again, they've got to be smart with their play calling and their just discipline here.
Yeah, that's the word I was exactly going to use. You got to be disciplined when you get up to the line, not be over anxious, and listen to your quarterback and go hard on the snap count.
Boy, it looks like they jump every time, doesn't it?
Going to hand it off to Wilson again here. He's going to go ahead and pick up a first down, and you think he's just a yard or so past the first down marker, and then the ref comes up and spots the ball a couple yards further than that.
I was going to say, almost every time it just appears that he's met close to the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden he's got a 3-yard gain, 4-yard gain. He does run powerfully, and they are getting a good push. They've gotten a good push this second half.
So South O'Brien with the big first down there, coming up with first down and 10 here. Going to hand it off to he just about had. Man, I thought that crease opened up on the right-hand side. You could just see it open up, but, we're at a different vantage point than they are on the field, obviously, but if he could have cut that one outside, I think he had some real estate to take that ball. But irregardless, he picks up 4 yards on that first down, so a nice play there for Wilson, and that's what South O'Brien needs to keep doing here. We got time to get the ball down the field. And
with 6 minutes to go in the ball game, Kyle, and this is what they want to do. They want to chew the clock, keep the ball out of the Jays' hands, and end it with a game-tying touchdown.
Wilson able to sneak through there. Lamar's Gehlen Catholic had 2 or 3 guys there right at the line of scrimmage and met him, and Wilson able just to sneak through that line and go ahead and pick up another 3 yards or so. So going to bring up a 3rd and 3 here. Ball just about to midfield. We're at the 46-yard line. So I don't want to be too preemptive here, Simon, but if South O'Brien is able to keep this ball going down the field and score, do you go for 2?
Boy,
Boy, it's going to be
he's a little bit short.
It's going to be a really close play here. This is
a decent spot, but it looks to be just about a couple inches short.
I'm betting we're going to have they are giving them the first down. I thought I was going to put money on having another measurement.
Me
but
too. It looked like it was going to be just the nose of the ball short. Obviously, it would have been a sneaking situation, but better to not be put in that position where a penalty or a fumble or a botch snap or something could happen. So a fresh set of downs for the Wolverines, and the clock keeps ticking, under 5 now.
Look at all those guys right up there within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and they're rolling around there trying to pass it. Oh, a nice little.
Wow, made something out of nothing there. Just flipped it.
Oh, we had a late penalty come out there, so this could be a big call here.
Yeah, just kind of flipped it over the defenders' heads to Wilson, and Wilson made something out of nothing after it looked like that was going to be a blown-up play. Now we'll see what the refs do here and what they sort out, but
feels like this could be a big penalty here, with South O'Brien driving. If it's against the offense, they're not a team that's built for, third or first and long, whatever. Oh, they're going to go wave it off. So
I think there was some confusion. I was listening to the guys in the press box, and they thought it might have been like it might have hit a lineman first or a lineman downfield. I heard him talking about a lineman. I didn't see anything infraction-wise. He kind of flipped it over all the heads, made a good athletic play as he was on the run for his life just to get the ball to Wilson, and Wilson didn't really get much yardage on the play, just a couple, but again, what looked to be a loss or worst case scenario, or a ball that needed to be thrown away, got a couple yards out of the play, waved the flag off, and so now we're going to be looking at a second at a long 7.
Officials still huddling here, Simon, so I'm not sure what they're talking about, but I do like that they get together and talk about the call versus just making the call.
Well, now the flag went back out. Ineligible receiver downfield.
Illegal touching on the call.
So they waved the flag off, and then they re-huddled, and penalty is on the Wolverines. So
how far is this going to back them up?
They lost the down and a 15-yarder, a 15-yard penalty, and lost the down.
That's definitely a big momentum changer right there with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. So South of Bryan with a huge penalty against them with 2nd and 25. Going to stick on the ground and run it to Wilson there. He's going to go ahead and pick up about 3 yards on that play. So
wow, that was a big change of momentum there.
Interesting how they waved that call off there first and then reconvened, and it kind of made me a little nervous when they kept talking there. So 3rd and 22 to go for South of Bryan, and I wonder if you want to keep it on the ground here and try to pick up a big chunk and then try to go for it on 4th down and pick this up first down.
To the right side sweep. Good defense that time.
I thought there was a face mask there at the end.
Looked like it.
Rest don't call it though. That's going to bring out 4th and long for South of Bryan here. Under 4 minutes to go. Gonna guess they're gonna punt this one away here, and
they will, and then play to try to use your timeouts and play for one final possession. But again, penalties killed the drives for them. They were on the move, and just a big penalty at the wrong time, Kyle.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You kind of felt like South of Bryan was getting some momentum there, and just not able to. So Gehlen Catholic not going to put, and they are going to fake it here. So South of Bryan tries a little bit of a trickery there, and Gehlen Catholic didn't have anybody deep back on that play, so tried to fake it and catch him off guard a little bit. Looked like it was going to be a pass play, but I didn't see any receivers go out there on that.
Kind of confused. It just took me by a little bit of surprise, and I think that's what they were trying to do, so I got lost in that whole mix because I didn't anticipate it, but I didn't see, like you say, any really wide outs. So must have just had a tight end peeling off and it was covered.
So I believe South of Bryan does have 2 timeouts left here, so we'll see if Gehlen Catholic keeps that ball on the ground and keeps that clock moving.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Nimmers there on the right-hand side. South of Bryan with a nice job there with the penetration there, so we're not going to take a timeout here yet. We're going to keep that clock going, and I'm willing to bet here if we have another, South of Bryan has another positive play on defense, they will take a timeout.
2nd and 11, a loss of 1 yard, exactly 3 minutes to go and ticking, 22 seconds on the play clock.
It does make me a little bit nervous. Last time Gehlen Catholic did have a nice punt down the field, and South of Bryan not a team that passes a lot and also going into the wind, so kind of need of a big play. A nice play there by South of Bryan getting in the backfield and not going to have to use that timeout with the incomplete pass.
It hit the quarterback just as he was throwing the ball, and it kind of disrupted, I think, that momentum. So now with 3rd and 11, like you said, 2 timeouts, the clock stopped at 2:43. So if they can stop them here, and you expect the Jays to go to the air and try to, like say, get that first down and kind of, so to speak, put the dagger in the coffin, just got to play smart defense, no penalties, and
that was Zeke Lundquist there with the pressure on the quarterback on that last play. So we'll see what Gehlen Catholic does here, if they elect to keep that ball on the ground or maybe they try to go back in the air, and it looks like they are going to go in the air. And the ball's going to be short, so that is going to bring up a 4th down.
And they don't have to take their timeouts. So 2:39, the clock stops with the incomplete pass. and it appears that South O'Brien will get it back. You would assume the Jays would punt here, but I wouldn't rule anything out in a big game like this when you're.
Especially with Nimmers back there with their punter, because he is quick and he does that rugby style punting where he kind of goes off to the right there, and he's always that option to run the ball if something went open up here.
He's a dangerous athlete.
Ooh, high punt there, but a nice job of collecting that. I would let that go over your head and see if that can bounce in the end zone, and it's going to take a good bounce for South O'Brien there. So with 2:31 left to go in the fourth quarter, South O'Brien's going to get the ball back at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, really, that couldn't have worked any better for the Wolverines to have a chance to tie this game up. Time is still their enemy with their style of offense, but as you mentioned, with 2 incomplete passes and they didn't take the timeout after the first yard down, they've got 2 timeouts to work with as well, Kyle. So it did work out well for the Wolverines if they can get some momentum going and just play like they've been playing the last 2 drives, but just got to play a little more disciplined here.
Nice job by South O'Brien coaching staff there with, not taking the timeout.
Right.
So they tried to do a little bit of a quick screenplay out to the left there, but penetration by Lamar's Gehlen Catholic getting Jackson down, so he's going to go ahead and lose a few yards there.
And keep the clock moving, and they've had penetration all night, Kyle.
And I do want to say, though, Simon, with Wilson back there in the backfield, you always do have that chance so that he could break a big run here and get a score for you. So South O'Brien not out of this thing by any means.
Sweep, sit outside, sit down. Sit down. There you go, nice.
So Wilson does pick up some of yards lost there on the first down, and it's going to bring up third down here and long for South O'Brien. So about 3rd and 8 coming up here, and coming up on a minute. That's right. The clock keeps moving. So most importantly here, you need to pick up a first down, but secondly, you need a big chunk play.
Yeah, you really need something that you've got in your back pocket.
Wow, what a play for South O'Brien. That play just had all kinds of trouble written all over it. Stripped the ball out of there. He's able to pick that up, break a tackle, and run for a first down.
I tell you what, we were both sitting there kind of locked in silence, not knowing what to say, because Lucia was dropping back, rolling, got the ball stripped, and like you say, had the wherewithal to pick it up and run for the first down. An incredible athletic play that time.
Game was definitely in the balance on that play.
It absolutely was. South O'Brien still alive after that big-time play.
So the clock continues to, looks like we are going to go ahead and have a timeout here with a minute 8 left to go minute 7 left to go in the fourth quarter. So South O'Brien does have 1 timeout remaining there. And, I just want to say, South O'Brien's had a struggle passing the ball tonight. Every time they drop back to pass, he's gotten tripped up, fumbled the ball, just having a lot of successful, even attempts to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, when they have wanted to put it in there, you're right. It seems like something's gone wrong. He tripped over a lineman, like you said, a couple of times. It was a bad connection between the center and the quarterback there. Whether whose fault doesn't matter. It just wasn't a good connection, and they've struggled through the air. And then a couple times they have been able to drop back. It seems like there's been some incredible pressure, so they haven't really had the attempts, as you mentioned, in that. But
kind of wonder if South O'Brien has any little trick plays up their sleeve here that maybe they haven't pulled out this year. That
I think they tried a screen where they got the illegal touch that really backed them up. But I feel like the way Gehlen's coming up, a screenplay could work if you could just execute it. It really could, because if you get Wilson past that first line of defense, that's big time.
So South O'Brien comes out here after the timeout, and they try to pitch it out to the left to Wilson, but just nothing there for him. So
Last timeout.
Looks like South O'Brien is going to go ahead and take their last timeout. So this game here will be the one that decides the game here.
It absolutely will be the play with a 3rd and long, 7 coming up.
Is it 3rd down?
55 seconds. Yeah, 3rd down.
Okay, I was thinking it was 4th down. So, yeah, they do have 2 more plays here. But
really time, they've used all their timeouts. Time is really now their enemy with their style of offense. They're going to have to put the ball in the air somewhere, and they're going to have to get, like you said, a big chunk play with 55 seconds to go in regulation of this ball game.
And it's going to be a difficult pass here if they try to pass it upfield. So not sure what Coach Furman will come out here with on this 3rd and 7 play here with 55 seconds left to go. With South O'Brien did take their final timeout, so
Fans are going wild in the stands. A big play. They can sense it. Good pass play to Wilson. Oh, they said he hit the turf first.
So they tried to throw that ball out there to
sorry, that was
so Matt Riedemann for South O'Brien, but calling that ball on the ground. That was a close play because if he would have picked up the first down.
I thought he had it. He scooped it, but obviously the refs have a better vantage point. So now this is the game right here.
This is the ball game here. So
4th and 7.
See what their best play is here. They're going to go ahead and back to pass. Got a guy open. He's going to complete it down to 45 to Negus. So
they're still alive.
Huge play there, and he gets out of bounds, too. So that's even a bigger play to get out of bounds, but what a big play there for the fullback Negus to catch that ball down the field. So
just about midfield now. Here we go, and the refs are getting it set up. Was he out of bounds? Because they're getting it out to the lineup. Hurry, are they going to...
Ball was out of bounds. So
okay, so it is stopped at 40 seconds exactly on the nose.
Play clock is going here, and then the time clock on the screen isn't going. So South O'Brien making a late substitution here. So play clock getting down under 10 seconds. They're going to have to hurry up to the line and try to get that play off.
5 seconds on the play.
Going to pitch it out to Wilson.
Right side, where they've had some success tonight, and Wilson does get out of bounds after.
Nice job by Wilson getting out of bounds there.
You got it with no timeouts. You've got to try to get to the sideline.
So took 7 seconds off that play. So Wilson takes the ball inside the 45-yard line. So we're down to the 44-yard line here with 33 seconds left to go. And
I told you, Kyle, that I not it would come down to the final possession. We would still be talking about who's gonna, how's this game gonna end? The final possession of this ball game.
Definitely exciting ball game, and I keep feeling both of us getting caught up in the moment of the game, and just a fun game to be at and watch and call. So South O'Brien hands the ball off there. A little bit of a surprise call with not much time left in the game, and they're going to have to hurry up to the line.
And now the clock is their enemy with under 20 seconds to go, and they just clock it, and that was the third down play. So that'll bring up another fourth down situation, Kyle, with 16 and a half to go in the ball game. That was a big play trying to run it up the gut.
It was.
And they were stuffed, and that just not only did they lose yards, but they, of course...
I'm thinking that South O'Brien was hoping to catch him off guard a little bit with that call, and unfortunately it backfired on him. So 16 seconds left to go here, and I guess time doesn't really matter at this point if you don't pick up the first down, but kind of a double-edged sword there, picking up the first down or running the clock out.
Well, they got
a nice screenplay there to Wilson, so... Nice call for South O'Brien. They're picking up the first down.
11 seconds to go in the game. They've got an opportunity down to the 40-yard line. Still 40 yards to go to pay dirt and only 11 seconds to do it. Not an easy task at all.
So you either got to pick up a first down here and stop the clock, or you have to get out of bounds. If you pick up a first down, the clock does stop temporarily. So you might be able to get 2 more plays off here. Going to pitch it to Wilson.
And same play, just outside right side. That's been their kind of bread and butter, and he gets out of bounds again. Just choose a few seconds off the clock. We're at 6 now.
So what's your touchdown play do you have in your back pocket here? Because basically with 6 seconds left, it took 5 seconds off that play to get out of bounds, and I don't know if you can run that play one more time. Or
I don't know that you can risk it, because if he's tackled in bounds, Kyle, it's over. I think you've got to go to the air here. You've got to have a couple top guys down in the end zone.
Got to hope for a big play or a defensive penalty.
Exactly.
He's going the other way, counter.
Wilson's going to break it off to the left side. He's got some room. He's got a first down. And the time runs up. That's going to be the ball game.
Wow.
I don't see no penalties down on the field.
That is the final. Wow, what a way to end it. Wilson had a chance, one guy to beat, and a great open field tackle that time. And Gehlen Catholic knocks off South O'Brien, their first loss of the season, Kyle. And, senior night for the Jays, and they showed some grit and some tenacity tonight. It wasn't that the Wolverines weren't coming around here in the second half. It just was a little too late.
That's exactly it, Simon. Gehlen Catholic came out here with a great game plan, and as you could see all night on the screen for your live video stream, just stacking the box all night long. And for the most part, kept Wilson pretty contained through the night. You know, he had that one long 82-yard touchdown run in the first quarter, but South O'Brien just not able to break any other big runs off. And every time they got some momentum going tonight, had a big penalty that backed them up.
It really did, and I'll tell you what a fun second half. Even though we didn't see 1 point scored in the second half, Kyle, I was very into this ball game. I'd have never guessed if you'd have tried to place a wager, friendly wager with me, that we would be ending the game the same way we ended the first half at a 14-7 game. But it was just two teams that had, when it counted, when it mattered, they stepped up, and it was just a stalemate second half. And Gehlen, like you said, they executed their game plan and they were victorious tonight on senior night.
That's exactly it, Simon. And this is a great matchup for both these schools tonight, like we kind of preluded coming into this game. But sometimes a loss isn't always the worst thing for a school. You take this game and you take as much as you can learn from it, and you know what teams are going to do against you moving forward. So come out maybe with a little bit different game plan, or when they're stacking the box like that, you got to have some plays where you can get out to the outside, whether maybe it's a reverse play, whatever it might be. But
both of these are playoff caliber teams. They showed they fought through some adversity, and will continue through the season with a couple more weeks to go. And Kyle, you look at this and say, both teams have a takeaway. Look at the grit and tenacity of the Jays tonight, and they can beat a premier team in the conference in the Class A. And you look at South O'Brien, and they take a loss, and they faced a tough opponent tonight, and they fought back at the end, but it just wasn't enough, and it was just a little too late. So here we are, a final. Gehlen Catholic Jays victorious 14-7 over the South O'Brien Wolverines, and all I can say is that was a fun broadcast, and I'm glad I was here tonight.
Definitely was a fun broadcast, and we're so thankful for all of our sponsors for allowing us to do this broadcast. And South O'Brien still has their own control within the rest of the season. They can go on to win their next couple of games here and still get in the playoffs and have a nice playoff run. So nothing to hang their hats about with a very tough field conditions here tonight. And
both teams can feel good about this at the end of the night, have some takeaways, and I suspect we see both of them in the postseason.
That's exactly it. So once again, we want to thank our sponsors for bringing this broadcast here with Lamar's Gehlen Catholic coming away with the victory over South O'Brien tonight, 14-7. Thank you much for listening to Fuller Digital Solutions via our YouTube stream, and we'll see you next time. I wonder if anybody sticks around after the game.
Yeah.